And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining. I'm back with a regular show, full length, callers, all that good stuff. I moved in pretty well to the new spot, so everything should be up and up. We got quite a few things going on. How many more votes are they going to dig up from the Crypt? How many more votes that were casted have not been counted? How much more election fraud are we going to uncover? And how long are the mainstream media going to continue to ignore it? Will Joe Biden end up being the president? Will Trump continue to be the president? We're going to see. I have no idea, but I think that there's going to be a lot uncovered here. We're talking about that, of course. We're talking about Obama yet again attacking black males, as his wife did, as everybody in the Democratic Party does. Oh, you don't want to vote for me, black man? Well, you're going to get beat like a slave on the plantation. Very, very familiar politics coming from the Democratic Party. Also, we're going to talk about Candace Owens destroying third wave feminism, modern feminism, whatever you want to call it, in one tweet. Talking about this whole Harry Styles kerfuffle. I don't even know who that guy is, really. Harry Styles, who is that? Some random guy that seems to be very popular with the youngins. We'll talk about the House Rep, Cori Bush, who's also a Justice Democrat, that said that Republicans thought she was Breonna Taylor. We'll talk about all those issues and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all for being here yet again. Most certainly appreciate you guys. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the channel, if you like the live streams, give me a thumbs up on the video. Share the video, do all that good stuff. We got a whole lot going on. Again, thank y'all for joining the stream. Yeah, we got a whole lot going on, and I'm ready to go ahead and dive headfirst straight into it. Now, how many more votes are they going to dig up? What did they say? They said 2,600 votes in Georgia. Then it was some more votes. And I think those 2,600 came from Rome, which is like way up northern Georgia. And, you know, it's interesting how you just happen to have 2,600 votes not counted or not tabulated in Rome, Georgia, which is straight Trump country. OK, I mean, if there was a particular place on the map that would be seen as Trump country, it's most certainly Rome. That's just a fact. OK, that's just what it is. So that's also the place where they had that really big rally, the big Trump rally towards towards Election Day. It might have been like the weekend before Election Day. Yeah, it was a really big rally in North Georgia. I wanted to go to it because I'm not that far from that, actually. It just so happens that a bunch of votes did not get tabulated. So you got this really big Trump rally. People are triggered all over the internet, all over social media, all over mainstream media, the so-called newspaper industry, everywhere. They're triggered, they're mad, they're butthurt, they're upset. And it just so happens that a bunch of votes from that same place don't get tabulated. Very interesting. I wonder why that is. I don't know. I'm just asking a few questions. And you know what? The thing about Georgia, somebody said it right there. Georgia, by and large, is Trump country. Yes. With the exception of Atlanta. That's the only, once you leave Atlanta, you're in Trump country. Okay. And there's even some parts of Atlanta. Well, I'll say the Atlanta metro area, because Atlanta itself, the city, is pretty small. Like 600,000 people. The city is not that big, but the surrounding metropolitan area is big. So, yeah, the Atlanta metro area, once you get past Henry County and Cobb County, you're in Trump country. Okay, that's just pretty much what it is. And I don't think that the Atlanta metro area has enough juice to be able to just totally swing Georgia the other direction. Maybe it does, but I'm just having a hard time seeing that make a whole lot of sense. All right. But we're gonna go ahead and somebody said even Batman mailed in the ballot. Yeah, don't delete that. Somebody deleted that. Don't delete that. That was a good comment about Batman mailing in the ballot. Everybody mailed in the ballot. Okay. That's kind of what's going on with that. Somebody says, is Atlanta worth visiting? Um, I don't know. It depends on what you're trying to do. It depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, it all really depends on you. If you're trying to go, and really, I think the baseball, I think that's out in Cobb. It depends on where you're going in Atlanta and why you're going. I can't really say there's necessarily really big tourist attractions. You know, it's not like going to Los Angeles where you got the beach and the Hollywood Hills, all that kind of good stuff, or where else? Like New York City, obviously you got all kind of iconic places, and you go to Times Square. So I'm not really sure why you would go to Atlanta, but it's not a bad place. Just stay out of certain particular places, as is the case in every big city. But yeah, I don't think Atlanta Metro is enough to make Georgia turn blue. Okay, I just don't really believe that. There's a lot of fraud going on that has to be uncovered. I'm just kind of waiting. There's all kind of news reports coming out. I'm not exactly sure what's true, what's false. A lot of it is true about the fraud coming out. It's just a matter of, okay, when are we going to find out everything? When is everything going to come to the forefront? That's the main thing. Yeah, I got the tundra. Yes, I did get the tundra. That's what I was doing today. That's why I hadn't posted videos. I got my tundra. Yeah, I needed that tundra, man, because I had a Rav 4 before, and that thing, I was beating that thing to death. I was beating that thing to death. And I'm tall. Like I was going to get a Tacoma, but I'm too big. I'm 6'3". So my knees are pretty much like at the steering wheel in a Tacoma doing a test drive. I was like, no, this ain't gonna work. I had more space in the Rav 4 than in Tacoma, which is crazy. But anyway, yeah, so I've just been doing that. But I've definitely had my ear to the news about what's going on with all this election fraud stuff. Okay, you got Trump's lawyer. What's her name? Sidney Powell. I don't want to say the wrong name. Hold on. Let me make sure that I'm saying the right thing here. Um, yeah, Sidney Powell. Yeah, she's been out there doing really big things. Okay, pictures. Maybe I might do like I might do like Hodge twins where they or Joe Patrick where they do pictures with their truck and their merch and stuff like that. I may do that, or I may do a vlog out there in front of it. Hey, skip forward. I don't know how you do it, man. You're 6'3" with a Tacoma. Your knees is in the steering wheel. Your knees are in the dashboard. Your knees in the dashboard and the steering wheel are one. But I got long legs. Like I can't even really. I'm just uncomfortable driving it. It's just the leg space, you know. And the thing about the Toyota Tundra that they made here in the USA, the thing they made in Texas. So although they are a foreign company, they are an American-made vehicle. At least the one I have is American-made. All right. Yeah. So we'll see what Sidney Powell does. We'll see what this whole thing really boils up to. I think it would be something. We just gotta kind of wait and see. I'm just waiting and seeing. You know, I feel like um I feel like there's gonna be something, but I'm not really sure what it's gonna be. I'm just kind of waiting and seeing where we go from here for sure. Oh yeah, somebody says Stone Mountain Park is worth visiting in Atlanta. Yeah, Stone Mountain. I did a video about Stone Mountain. That's where the NFAC guys went in Atlanta. You know, they were protesting Stone Mountain because it has a giant carving of Confederate generals. I'm not exactly sure who's on it. I think maybe Stonewall Jackson, Robert E. Lee. I'm not exactly sure of all the guys that are on it. I think it's like three or four generals that are on Stone Mountain. So they're protesting that rock. Now, mind you, these guys went out there to protest that rock right after the whole thing with Socoria Turner happened. Okay, you got an 8-year-old little girl killed by Black Lives Matter, but you out here protesting a rock. Okay, you seem to be in the wrong part of the metro area. You way out in Stone Mountain, Georgia, way out to the east of Atlanta. You need to be in the Atlanta city limits, right there in Zone 3, right where all the action is happening. Protest all the shooting and killing that's happening right in Atlanta, not some inanimate object, but I digress. Um, I got the cement color, so it's like a gray, it's like a light gray color. Yeah, I'm not even done with it yet, but that's gonna be what it is. Let me say, somebody says, do I believe in what Fox, CNN, and all the media says about Biden having more votes than Trump? I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, as it stands right now, that's what the official numbers would say, but I don't know if the numbers are real or not. I find it impossible that now I'm gonna give you a few numbers and you could just see if it makes sense to you. Not even if I'm right or if I'm biased or whatever. Just see if it makes sense to you. Okay, Barack Obama in 2008 had 69 million votes. John McCain, 59 million votes. Okay, it was tremendous. Hope and change. It was a really big thing. It was a powerful thing. The first quote unquote black president ever. It was tremendous. And then you had guys that were kind of tired of George W. and Dick Cheney. It was a whole movement behind Barack Obama. 69 million votes, almost 70 million votes compared to John McCain, 59, 60 million votes. About 10 million votes difference, right? That's what was going on in 2008 in the first Obama election. The second election, Obama got less votes. Obama had like 65 million votes compared to Mitt Romney was like 62 million. And for Ron, let me know about the exact numbers, but I do know that he got less votes. Okay, so that was in 2012. In 2016, Donald Trump has 62 million votes compared to Hillary Clinton, 65 million votes. But obviously, we know what happened. Trump won in the Electoral College because he was able to get votes in a wider area across the country. Hillary Clinton was not. She got a bunch of votes in these big liberal areas. And you know what? To go back to the 2016 election, I think that there was cheating going on then, but they only cheated in the blue states. That's what boosted the actual numbers. Maybe they thought they could just cheat the Electoral College. I mean, not the Electoral College. They could cheat the popular vote, and that make a difference. But it didn't, because all they did was just cheat, allegedly, maybe, perhaps, in already blue areas. That's probably why Hillary Clinton had more of the popular vote. Because remember, Hillary Clinton was hated and is still hated, and she looked raggedy, ridiculous, just decrepit all throughout her campaign. Okay, now fast forward to 2020. Trump has 71 million votes officially, but Joe Biden has 74 or 75 million votes officially. Now, explain to me this. How do you get 10 million more votes than Hillary Clinton 4 years ago when you were a worse candidate running up against the incumbent? How do you get about 3 to 4 million more votes than 2008 Obama? How do you get 5 to 6 million more votes than 2012 Obama? People said that it was more people in the country, population change, all this, that, and the third. Well, if that's the case, why did the vote go down from 2008 levels? Like, there was less turnout in 2008, and there was less turnout in 2016 than it was in 2008. You know, it was less turnout. Like, you know, it kind of go up and down. It's not like a consistently like going up and up and up as far as total turnout. And you got places where you got 84% turnout, 90% turnout. They said in Australia they have mandatory voting. Like, you must vote, and if you don't vote, you get fined. But somehow the turnout rate is 92% in Australia compared to 90% in it might have been the state of Wisconsin or a particular city in Wisconsin. How does that happen? It doesn't make any sense at all. And by the way, Australia is a small country, actually. It's large land-wise, but small population-wise. It's like 25 million people. So you can compare Australia to a state because you may have equivalent or near equivalent population. Okay, California has almost double the population of Australia. But that's a different story. I digress. The whole point is that the numbers don't make any sense, don't really add up. Okay, how do you have 75 million votes for Joe Biden compared to 65 million for Hillary Clinton just 4 years ago? You're gonna increase the turnout by 10 million for a very unpopular candidate going against the incumbent. It doesn't make any sense at all. Now, for Trump to get 8 million more votes makes sense because he's very popular. He has the base is still there. So that makes sense for him to get more votes because now he's approaching the popularity of Barack Obama, if not the equivalent, because 70 million is right around what Obama got in 2008. That makes sense. But it does not make sense for Joe Biden to get 74, 75 million votes. That's all I'm trying to say. But hey, if that makes sense to you that Biden would succeed like that, then that's fine. Go ahead. But I think that if you're using your brain, then it does not make any sense. But I digress. Thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And yeah, the flags are back. I'm gonna get some more flags soon, and I'm also going to put some like cube storage back there, and I'm gonna put some other little knickknacks. I got Trump hats, I got all kind of merch, and I got books and things like that. So I'll put a lot of that stuff in the back. So this is what I got for right now. Just making things happen. All right. So what else we got going on? Oh, Barack Obama versus black male voters. Now this seems to be a pattern in the Democratic Party. I don't understand. Well, I do understand how things happen the way I say it's going to happen, but it doesn't make sense for the left to try and say that the right are racist. Anytime I say anything about race and it's some kind of negative stereotype or some kind of insult, it always comes from the left. All kind of racial slurs they say with impunity is just no problem. They can just spew it, spit it out. I'm seeing people of all colors using racial slurs against a different race. I'm seeing white people talking about N-word this, N-word that from the left now. Porch monkey, all this. It did the same thing with Clarence Thomas back when he was becoming confirmed to be the next Supreme Court justice. This is when your man Joe Biden was interrogating him and the modern day lynch. Remember that? So it did the same thing back then. There was literally no difference. Okay, but it is what it is. Anyway, now Barack Obama says he thinks the reason why black males voted for Trump is because of hip hop culture. Like he says, Trump is about materialism and all these different things. Therefore, he has a kind of personality and a mentality that makes sense to align with that type of that type of element in hip hop. So if you are a black male and just happen to vote for Trump, it means you're a rap listener. You're being influenced by that, and that's the reason. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're 50 years old and it's your first time voting and you vote for Donald Trump. You just happen to be a hip hop guy. You could be somebody that does not listen to rap at all. You might come from the 60s and 70s and Michael Jackson and stuff like that. But nah, rap is the reason why you voted for Trump. Okay, and then he was like insulting hip hop culture, rap culture. Now, I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong as far as like some of the materialism. I mean, it is what it is. That exists in rap. That's not the entirety of it, but that's aside from the point. My point is this. Barack Obama was the Barack Obama ushered in rap music and hip hop culture to the White House. His daughter's the same way. They're kind of like social media influencers. They be wearing shirts of their favorite rapper and stuff like that. It's like, come on, is that by accident or is it by design? You got Barack Obama going to certain concerts, popping up at certain events, a Chance the Rapper, all this and that. The Democratic National Convention Committee, whatever, they are like actively involved with getting rappers to speak to certain people. You got Cardi B speaking to Joe Biden. I mean, come on, who else? You had it might have been Obama or his wife, Michelle. You might have had them go to one of these rap concerts. Jay-Z, Beyonce, they're going to, some for not Donald Trump, some for Obama. So it's like the hip hop scene and the culture is wrapped up in the Democratic Party, and Obama's like the chief of it. You got all these rappers and ball players and everybody else in that particular culture going to Barack Obama. I can sue the president right now. They're visiting him recently. It's like, why visiting Barack Obama? He can't do anything for you. Okay, he left office in 2017. It's 2020 now. Move on. But different story. My whole point is that Barack Obama is insulting these rappers and these hip hop guys. Well, the whole time he has been using them all throughout his presidency and afterwards. He uses them still right now. You got a podcast on Spotify, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, what's some of the top programs on Spotify? The Joe Budden podcast, not Joe Biden, Joe Budden, the rapper. I mean, let's stop playing games. What are we even talking about? He had BET at the White House when he was leaving 2016 or 2017, whenever it was. That like right before he was right after Trump got elected, he brought BET to the White House and did a whole special. So it's hypocrisy, number one, and number two, it's insulting. Why must I just be influenced by rap music? I'm a grown man. I'm kind of old. I got gray hair here and there. I'm not going to be influenced by rap music. Maybe I just like Trump's policies. Maybe I dislike Obama's policies. Okay. There was a lower voter turnout for Obama in 2012. So that right there may tell you that people don't necessarily like what Obama did. Okay. In the first term, he didn't like what he did. Second term, same thing. And enter Trump. He was the anti-Obama. Simple. Okay, you're running against Obama's principles and policies. He was kind of a failed guy, a company guy, empty tan suit, the whole 9 yards. Okay, I'm gonna go vote for Trump. That's the reason why a lot of us did it. They didn't like Obama. They want to go a different direction. They kind of got red pilled by Obama in the sense that he did not do a good job. The hope and change thing was just kind of a slogan. It was just marketing. It was not anything real behind it. So people go a different direction, and it is what it is. Okay, but of course we have to get attacked because we vote a different way. You had Barack Obama attack us. Then you had, who else? Michelle Obama got a whole Netflix special where she expressly talked about how the black voter turnout was not enough and it was a slap in the face. I'm like, Mike, come on, Big Mike. Like, why are you talking about the turnout was not enough? You're not even, you getting 95% of the vote. What are you complaining about? So we can't, to have us nearly 100% submitting to the Democratic Party is not even enough. You want a crazy turnout rate as well. Okay, a lot of guys locked up based upon what your man Joe Biden did. So what you gonna do? How you gonna get guys from the penitentiary to go vote? Well, they're trying to do that. Guys like LeBron James and Terry McAuliffe paying off felons fines and getting their rights restored to go vote so they can vote Democrat. But again, different story. I digress. The point is that maybe they shouldn't attack us over there, including Big Mike and Barrio and the other lady, Pam Keith, talking about if you're a black male that voted for Trump, that means you hate black women. Like it was only black men that did it, not black women. But anyway, maybe they should stop insulting us and just come up with new ways to be able to keep us, because you had an uptick in the black vote for Trump, male and female. It was a small number, but an uptick. It's not going the opposite direction. That's what we like. And when you see this continue, you get to a certain point where it was in the past, 50-50 voting one way or the other. If we have that, I'd be happy. Okay, if we can get 100% voting for the Republican Party, I'd be great with that. But that's not reality. If we can 50-50, I'll be happy. And it would eventually get to that point. But hey, I'm giving them free advice. They're not going to listen, and that's fine, because if they were to listen, they could have a chance of being able to keep that voting block at a very high rate, but they're not going to do it, so it's going to fade away. And it is what it is. All right, so shout out to Big Mike and the whole squad for insulting us yet again. You know, I think with every insult, we just kind of get stronger. And if anyone is offended at me calling Michelle Obama Big Mike, then I think the bigger offense is when she said it was slap in the face to her and her husband's legacy, because black folks didn't vote enough, although she had 95%, 95% or close to it for Hillary Clinton. It's like, come on, what more do you want? You want people in the penitentiary to come out and vote? Your grandma that's 1,000 years old in the wheelchair, you want her to come out and vote? I mean, come on. But it is what it is. Thank y'all for being here yet again. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me your thumbs up on the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys for joining. We got a full show today. I'm going to do the calls a little bit later at about 9 p.m. It's been a while for that, and I can't wait. I got all my stuff set up. Everything's good to go. We rocking and rolling. All righty. So what else we got going on? We got quite a few things happening. Oh, shout out to Candace Owens. Candace Owens, you did a great job with the whole Harry Styles kerfuffle. Now, you guys, you might be cooler than I am, because I don't really know exactly who Harry Styles is. I see that he's some kind of music performer, some guy that's really popular on the internet, some guy that is really like a celebrity, basically a music celebrity. But what was that? Vogue or Elle, one of these magazines put him on the cover wearing a dress and really feminine clothing. So Candace was like, "Well, what is this? Why is he? What's going on? Are we promoting? Are we being anti-male, anti-masculine? What's really happening?" That's what it appears to be from my point of view, and it's not a good thing. And people kind of got upset talking about, oh, you trying to shame men for expressing themselves. No, it's not even about shaming men for expressing themselves. It's about this particular magazine or publication trying to put that out there as like it's a normal thing, it's cool, and just trying to promote it. If you are a male and you want to be Miss Doubtfire every day, then that's fine. Go ahead, put on your grandma's bloomers and the little Chef Boyardee type frilly hat, whatever you got going on in your grandma's closet. You want to put it on? Okay, that's your business. And if you gay, so what? I don't care. It's not even about that. It's about trying to push this kind of stuff as normal. I suppose Harry Styles has like teeny bopper fans, little kids and teenagers or whatever. So when they see him on the cover of the magazine like that and they see that consistently, it gets them kind of confused. Like, okay, you got a girl, she's 14 years old, right? She got a poster of him on her wall in her bedroom, right? And then she sees this on the internet, him wearing a dress. She's like, oh, well, okay, boys that I like in my school can wear a dress and it's fine too. Now you got all kind of problems going on. You got confused boys because they might try to put on a dress to impress the girls, and the girls are confused because they don't understand that a man shouldn't really be doing that. If there's gonna be somebody if they're gonna be with that guy, then they probably shouldn't be wearing a dress. Okay, if they're gonna be with him. Now, if they're not gonna be with him, then that's something different. But if they're gonna be with him, maybe the dress shouldn't really be a thing. And beyond just the physical appearance of the dress and stuff like that, it goes into the whole thing of masculinity kind of being played out, worn out. It's toxic masculinity. It's not really something that's welcomed. It's not a cool thing to be a man. Okay. Being a boy is like something that you got to suppress. You got to put them on medication. Like you might got a hyperactive boy. Cause when I was a boy, I was just like everywhere. I was wild. So you put me on medication. If you were to do that, then what would I be? Now, thank God my mom never did anything like that. I never was on no kind of medication or nothing like that. I never did that. Thank God. What if I was? And a lot of boys are being medicated. It's a whole thing of trying to just, neuter the male. It goes much deeper than the magazine cover, but that's part of it. That's part of this whole thing about not being masculine, about masculinity being trash. This whole thing, men are trash, girl power, everything's women leading in business. That's not reality. You have some women that are great leaders, but it's just not the reality for most of the world. Okay. We got to live in reality. If you have a woman that's a good leader and she owns the business and whatnot, that's fine. But when we do things, try to, engineer society in a certain way, then at a certain point, it's like, are you playing God or what? We probably should just back up a little bit, ease up a little bit, and get back to normal everyday gender roles. So shout out to Candace Owens for flaming the libs on that one. She did an excellent job, in my humble opinion. All right. Let me see. I'm reading some of the comments here. The moderator is a beta. No, everything's all good. Everything is all good. Hold on. Let me see. Now, stop deleting the comments. I don't want to say your name, but stop deleting the comments. It's all good. Some of these comments ain't really that bad. If it's like a different point of view or something like that, it's okay. Only delete comments that say something like, just random cursing for no reason or something nasty, like physically nasty, talking about body parts and weird stuff. If they come in here just tweeting doodle emojis over and over with nothing else, no other context, then block that. But anything else, you can just leave it be. It's all good. Stable Genius says, show me 3 examples in mammals where the female is dominant. I'll wait. Hey, man, grab a Snickers because you're going to be here for a while. Okay, I got nothing for you. Maybe the guys in the chat could help you, but I can't do nothing for you at all. Not in the least bit. Okay, let me see. And I think Candace should run for president. I think Candace may run, I think she would be good in that particular role, and she have a great staff around her. It wouldn't just be her. That's one person that is good at what she does as far as being a leader, but she's a rare breed, and that's just what it is. If she's a star, stars are not necessarily made. I think they're born, and that's why she's one of them, because she's just a different person, different kind of a rare breed. That's probably the best way to put it. All right, let me see. The praying mantis, is that one where the female is dominant? I see. I don't even know about that. Somebody says Michelle looks like a first string defensive end. That's hilarious. That is funny. Hold on. I'm reading some of the comments, then I'm gonna get back to my next thing. I wanted to read one right here. Let me just. Oh, somebody says, "Am I coming back to Virginia?" Probably not. I'll come through to visit, but I don't want to. I probably will not live in Virginia anymore. And you know what? I got love for Virginia. I grew up there, obviously, but I think I gotta go ahead and just, I gotta stay where I like where I'm at more than anything else. All right. Now, yeah, you say Mark says you want to leave Virginia. I understand why you want to leave. I get it. I promise you, I get it, because Northern Virginia, unfortunately, is just too big. If they can annex that away from Virginia, it'll be better. But for right now, it's just not the reality of what's going to happen, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, here's one I want to talk about right quick. Then I'm going to super chats in a moment. There's a newly elected House rep by the name of Cori Bush, and she had on a mask that said Breonna Taylor. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put a mask up. If you didn't see my video, I'm gonna talk about it right now so you can see it in real time. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, here's a perfect one. Perfect. Okay, this is on CNN. Um, of course, I'm not gonna but you'll see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Now, here's the headline. Okay, I don't want that. Come on, look, I don't want no man's land. What are we doing? See, I was gonna give CNN some credit, and then they took it away. All right. Now, here's the image, and I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just read the actual headline if I can. All right. Now, for you guys that can't see it, if you're listening on their favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, yes, I'm going to bring it back. I've been gone from Anchor for a while, but I will bring the podcast back. If you're listening to me over there, first of all, go ahead and give me a 5-star rating, a review, a share, whatever you can over there. I most certainly appreciate you. But if you cannot see the screen, what I have in front of you is Cori Bush. Now, she got elected recently. She's a House rep, a U.S. House rep. So you're talking about going to D.C. the whole 9 yards from Missouri. And she is a BLM activist, and she's also part of a group called Justice Democrats. In this group, you have Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, Rashida Tlaib, AOC, and I think Pramila Jayapal. You see the pattern? A bunch of crazy leftist, feminists, just crazies. All right. Matter of fact, here it is. Okay. Now, the headline reads, Cori Bush shocked by Republicans calling her Breonna because of her Breonna Taylor mask. Now, as you can see on the screen, if you're watching it, you have the lady here. She black, and she has a mask on that covers her nose and her mouth. All you see is her eyes and her forehead and, the hair on her head. Her mask is black, and it says Breonna Taylor in white letters. So if you are a newcomer to Congress or don't know who you are, this is your first time on Capitol Hill, and you immediately put on a mask that says Breonna Taylor, how do I know that's not who you are? Understand this. Not everyone knows or cares about every instance of grievance culture that you may have. You understand what I'm saying? Not everybody knows who Breonna Taylor is. People say, oh, you should know about that. Why should I know about who Breonna Taylor is? Why? Okay, she's a black person that got killed. What's new? Unfortunately. Why should I know about that? I know about it because this is my job to be kind of like involved with this kind of stuff. But a lot of these House reps don't know, and she has a mask that says Breonna. Like the way the story was reported was they thought she was Breonna Taylor just because she black and she's from I don't know, Missouri. That doesn't make any sense because Breonna Taylor from Kentucky. But anyway, her mask literally says Breonna Taylor on it. So here's my solution to you. Maybe you could put on a name tag that says, "Hey, my name is Corey, Cori Bush. Easy to remember. 8 letters total. 4 at the front, 4 in the back. Easy to remember, Corey Bush." Okay. And as a matter of fact, here's a novel idea. You ready for it? You can go and tell your name to people. Introduce yourself. Be like, "Hey, Mr. X, Y, and Z. Hey, Mr. Chuck Grassley or Nancy Pelosi or whoever, Rand Paul. My name is Corey Bush. Nice to meet you." Maybe you could do something like that rather than just giving everybody the ice grill and with this whole grievance culture talking about, "Oh, they call me Brianna and they racist." Cut it out. But you know what? She's part of Justice Democrats. This is what they do. Okay, this is not just a random person. People thought that, oh, this is grassroots and on it. Please, Justice Democrats are funded by Soros. Once you go and look at the money, once you follow the money, you'll find up you'll end up with George Soros. Okay, and Chunk Yogurt from Young Turks, he might be involved with it as well. Okay, there's some money behind these people. This ain't just you don't just happen to get in power as some kind of activist like this on the left without some kind of money behind you. That's just not how it works. Especially when you like overturn long-term incumbents, there's a bunch of cash. That was AOC. There was money behind AOC. They thought, oh, she just came from the bar and it was an audition. She went out to get the part. She got the part. They put money behind her and installed her. How you think she beat Joe Crowley? What was like an 18-term incumbent or something crazy? Okay, like one of the highest ranking officials in government. Like somebody that was really respected on the Hill gets ousted by this random girl from the restaurant. Come on, be for real. It's money behind it. It's power behind it. It's influence behind it. So it is what it is. What's the opposite of grassroots? Great question. The opposite of grassroots, um, mass produced, uh, staged. I'm not really sure what the exact word is. Um, corporate funded, probably corporate funded. That's what it is. That's who Corey Bush is and all these other people. Ilhan Omar, another one. Ilhan Omar they probably have legal counsel to tell them what to do, because what Ilhan Omar is doing is, first of all, she got put in there by Chunk Yogurt and George Soros, all of them. That's the first thing, into the big house. And then also she's Somali from Minnesota, which means that everybody Somali where she lives at, and that helped her get in. She speaks Somali, obviously, and English. So, I mean, it was kind of a shoe in. You had some alleged ballot harvesting. Allegedly, ballots got paid for. Where did the money come from to pay for the ballots? You tell me, but I digress. Allegedly, there was some monies exchanged hands to vote for Ilhan Omar. But the biggest thing is that she's part of this group that they're all a part of. And she's probably getting legal counsel. That's why she married that guy, Tim Minette. No, first she was married to her brother, allegedly, because of immigration purposes. Got him over here, green card or whatever the case may be. Then she was married to her actual husband, who she got kids with, and she divorced him to get with the guy by the name of Tim Minette. Okay, she could just cheat on her husband, but that's a different story. I'm kind of getting way off the track. she divorces her husband and gets with Tim Minette, and the majority of her campaign money goes through his company, his quote unquote consulting company. Now, if you Ilhan Omar, very popular, right? How does 70% of your campaign monies go to this guy's company for so-called consulting? Why 70%? Why 2/3 of your total money? Is it because you're engaging in money laundering? Is it coming back to you? Is that legal? I'm not really sure. But that's kind of the old that's the oldest con game in the book. You got some guys that have consulting firms that are at their own home address where they would send money to and send it back to themselves. So they run knowing they can't win, raise a bunch of money, millions of dollars, send the money to the consulting firm that's their own company, and they pay themselves with it. They live on that. It's a hustle. And Ilhan Omar's doing it in the office right now, right in front of our eyes. So they talk about fraud and conspiracy theories and all this. And it's just projection. It's definitely all kind of fraud going on, all kind of stealing going on, stealing the votes, stealing the money, all that. Okay, improprieties run amok. And then when you call them out on it, oh, you conspiracy theorists and you're Alex Jones, and come on, man, stop. But anyway, thank y'all for being here yet again. I most certainly appreciate you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, that the whole thing with Ilhan Omar is most certainly illegal, but in um in Minnesota, what's going to really happen? You're pretty much in Somalia. So what's going to really happen in that community? Who's going to call her out on it? Will there be some kind of investigation launched? I see all kind of things happening, investigations and the hearings. I saw the hearing with I think it was a recent one with Jack Dorsey from Twitter and also Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, obviously. And it's kind of a dog and pony show to me. It's like, all right, I'm seeing these hearings. You got guys talking tough to Zuck and Jack, but it's like, okay, the tough talk, what's going to be the end result of the tough talk? Can we get a resolution? Can we get a finality on it? Or nah, we're just going to have these little dog and pony shows and no actual resolution. Not really a big fan. But Zuckerberg appeared to be a straight robot. Somebody said it best. Somebody said that Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey appeared to be, like they said, Jack Dorsey was like the lonely guy locked up or put on the island by himself. And then Zuckerberg was a robot he created to cure the loneliness. I was like, wow, really? But Zuckerberg, no eyebrows. These guys are weird. These guys are the ones that are trying to dictate the way that the information and society is operating. That's pretty much what it is. And they're trying to do this whole shutdown part too. And I called this. I was like, what's the point? They're gonna shut down, then they're gonna open up, and they're gonna come right back here. So what's the point of shutting down? You shut down, slow the spread, flatten the curve. Now you want to shut down again. But you want to shut down only in certain circumstances. You got Gavin Newsom on TV apologizing, almost crying. Not really crying, kind of like smug a little bit, honestly. Talking about, oh, well, I went to a dinner and it was more than that allowed amount and I shouldn't have been there. It was a mistake. I own up to it. It's like a mistake. Look, the word mistake gets used too liberally and too freely with these people in the politics. How is it a mistake? All right, a mistake is I'm in my living room, I'm walking, all of a sudden I fall, bust my head on, the table, or I step on a Lego and I scream bloody murder. That's a mistake. I accidentally stepped on the Lego. I didn't mean to step on it. I didn't know it was there. It was a mistake. I made an accident. But when you go to a dinner and you see how many people are there and you sit down and eat, you're not making a mistake by eating. It was just wrong to do, according to Gavin Newsom. But it's okay for him to do it. He could say, okay, I apologize. It was a mistake, and get away with it. That's what they do. That's just what it is. Same thing, Muriel Bowser in D.C., violating D.C.'s, the quarantine thing. If you go to Baltimore, when you come back, you got to quarantine for a certain number of days. You got to wear the mask, all this, that, and the third. She didn't do any of that. Same thing with Chuck Schumer. All these guys. Now they're saying Chuck Grassley, who's 87 years old, has the virus. Said he has no symptoms. Now, if Chuck Grassley is 87 years old, no symptoms, and he beats the virus with no problem, then the whole thing is a scam. I think we all know the whole thing, the scam-demic, pandemic is dead. Okay, yeah, the virus is there, but so is the flu and the common cold and measles and mumps. Diseases exist, yes, but is it that bad to the point you got to shut the whole country down? And shut it down again after we already did it? We spent $6 trillion with a T, $6 trillion because of the shutdown. How much more debt are we going to rack up because of any kind of new shutdown? I'm trying to figure that out. Where I live, there's no shutdown. Ain't nobody. The traffic is jumping. People are out moving and grooving. Ain't no shutdown. It's just not going to happen. At this point, if you get it, you get it. The virus, that is. They're talking about a vaccine is out. It says like 90 something percent effective. Do you want the vaccine? I don't want the vaccine. Okay, I only get the flu shot. Never had a flu shot as far as I remember. Maybe when I was in like grade school, like elementary school, something like that, but not as an adult. Never had no flu shot. I've never gone to CVS or Walgreens, Target, wherever they got the flu shot and say, hey, let me get the flu shot this year. I want to be proactive. Look, I'll be all right. Okay, because there's risk involved with everything. If I don't get the flu shot, there's a risk of the flu shot maybe could have helped, and then I get the flu and it's bad. Maybe I guess that's the risk. But if I get the shot, I can get injured and have some kind of other problem happen as a result. Okay, it might not even work. I can still get the flu anyway, and it'd be just as bad as it was even without the flu shot. So I don't get the flu shot. I don't take vaccines as an adult, so I'm not going to take the virus. And they rushed it. Why would I want that? You're kind of like a beta tester. You're a crash test dummy. Okay, you got a brand new car. It's a prototype. They ain't did any kind of testing, no kind of. It's said they've tested with people, clinical trials, but you really don't know how it is until you get out there in the world. You got guys that may test cars and video games and stuff like that before it gets to the market. But when it hits the market, you get different environments, different people, different doctors, all kind of variables that change. And then that might change the reaction of people to the actual drug. It could be long-term effects. They're talking about long-term effects from the virus. Okay, the fatigue and the breathing, all that. They're saying it's long-term effects. So how do I know if I get this vaccine, even if it does, quote unquote, work, how do I know that I don't have any kind of late issues that could come as a result of the so-called vaccine? I'm good. No, thank you. I don't want it. But I'm reading where they say that you may not be able to do certain things if you don't have the vaccine. It's kind of like China. Matter of fact, it's like Black Mirror. If you ever seen that, the episode where they were where they had like the credit system is the same as in China, where everything you do, you get rated 1 to 5. Man, they already got it here in America, really. When you go into an Uber, Lyft, and you complete the ride, you can rate them on that. If you go Amazon, any place like that, you can rate the purchase. You can rate, it's ratings already there. It's a matter of applying it to human beings. They got it already in Uber and Lyft. So the next thing is, okay, you don't have your vaccine, but you're going to get a mark on your record. You become the thing that gets rated in general. So yeah, I don't want that to happen at all. Yeah, social credit score, exactly. You already got a regular credit score for your credit, your cash credit. You already got that right now. That's a thing. And if you got a bad credit score, well, you might not be able to get a house or a car, stuff like that. That's already existing. But then it becomes about you as a person. How do you help society? Or how do you take away from society? What do you do that will actually harm the planet versus help the planet? And who's going to be the grand arbiter of what's right and what's wrong as far as what you do in society? We know who it is, but different story, I digress. The point is that you don't really want that for your life. All right. You don't want that, and you don't want them to try to say, oh, well, you don't got the vaccine, but you can't go, you can't travel, you can't fly. Again, that's already in China right now. If you have certain little dings on your record, you might not be able to get on the airplane or get on a train or even an Uber or something like that. You become the person that gets rated. So anyway, yeah, don't be a statistic. I don't want to be a number or a cog in the machine with no kind of humanity to myself. All right. I still want my humanity. I don't want Cyberpunk 2077 to become reality. But again, we'll move right along. Thank you for being here. Yet again, you guys are the best audience on the internet. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up, share the video, like the video, do all that good stuff. We got super chats on deck, and then I'm gonna get into just the regular calls. So we will do calls tonight. I got my whole thing set up the way it's supposed to be, and I'm glad to be back on deck. All right. Oh yeah, and you're right. Benhoff. Social credit will lead to mark of the beast. It's already been written. Okay, so what did it say? Put it in your forehead or in your hand. And I've already seen videos of them putting a chip in their hand. I've already seen it. So then when you like if you do a certain thing or a certain action that can be rated, you know, you already got your phone in your hand. You can just scan their hand or scan their forehead, and then you could just put a number in and rate them. That might be how it is. Let me see. M. Ryano says, ABL, my mother has a virus and has been very sick for 10 days already. This is not a joke. Hey, I understand that the virus is real. People get sick. But the question is, aren't there other viruses that exist in the world people get sick from too? Okay. My dad almost died from pneumonia a few years back. So are we just going to not, and he's not old. Dad just turned 60 recently. So he was in his like early 50s when this happened, mid 50s, and he's in physical good shape, bodybuilder, firefighter, 20 something years, military guy. You know, he can, I'm telling you, Dad, at his age, can still knock a young boy out right now today. But I digress. He had pneumonia, had a really bad reaction. So should we just shut the whole world down because of pneumonia? I mean, we got to be able to understand that, yes, you do have viruses. You can take precautions, wash your hand. If you want to wear a mask, do that. But what else what can we do that would allow us to continue to live life? Because we can't just pause life because this virus is here and it's causing an issue. But again, I digress. All right. Now, we got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls a little bit after that. Thank you to Kurt M for becoming a member of the ABL squad. Thank you to Mikhail Watts, who says, ABL, love you, man. Question is for me, why is no one talking about the demographic of homeless people in regard to COVID? It's such a damning thing. You know what? That's a good question. If the virus is so bad and it's so deadly, why is it not just ravaged homeless people? Because they out there, they have no PPP. I mean, not PPP. They have no, PPP, personal protective equipment. Oh, PPE. They have no masks, no gloves, no shields, no hand sanitizer. Barely even got soap, and they're outside exposed to the elements. So how are they not being ravaged by the virus? I remember I saw a study a few months ago where they were talking about people in New York who had the virus and who've been hospitalized with the virus. And it said it was like 88% of those who were in the hospital with the virus were either at home quarantining or they were in a nursing home. It was like 2% that were homeless that went to the hospital with the virus. So my thing is, why is everybody that gets the virus at their house or nursing home? It's confined spaces. Like we can see what's going on with the virus. So if you're quarantining and you're healthy, isn't that like counterintuitive if we know that being inside and in a tight space spreads it? I'm just trying to figure out, wouldn't it make more sense to be outside more than normal? I'm just trying to, add 2 and 2 together. All right. Thank you to Bearbait01 who says, ABL, you get your Tundra yet? I got the Tundra. I got the Tundra in the cement color. I'm going to put some black wheels on it and black running boards. I had a RAV4. I traded the RAV4 for that. Thank you to Leo Mazzino who says, that 12th Amendment is very interesting. I wonder why at the beginning Clinton told Biden not to accept the election under any circumstances. Yeah, I mean, it was the same thing with Trump. Not the same thing as far as what exactly they said to him being the same as told Biden, but they were trying to tell Trump, or they were trying to ask Trump, hey, all right, when the election happens, are we going to is it going to be peaceful transition? Will you accept results? Are you going to try to challenge it? Like what I heard when they kept asking them that was, okay, we're going to cheat. Are you going to fight it or no? That's what I heard when I kept hearing this whole thing about peaceful transition. Are you going to accept it? I saw the whole thing coming because I knew what they were going to do. The whole thing with voter ID, trying to keep that from being on the books. I knew what they were going to do straight from the jump. All right. Let me see. Shout out to Will Redding, who says it's time to get on Parlor ABL. All the cool kids are there. Thank you to Donna Luce or Luce. I'm tearing your name up and I'm sorry. Who says that's why Joe didn't campaign. The Democrats knew the software in a lot of states had to change so votes can't be changed. Yeah, exactly. See, what's the point of campaigning when all you're gonna do is just hurt yourself, make yourself appear to be unelectable? All you gotta do is just sit in your basement in Delaware, come out every now and again to your front step to do some kind of little quote unquote press conference, do the occasional live stream, and sit back and let the people that cheat for you. Thank you to Carrie F. Wolf for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to President-elect Lily, who says, I hope Trump has a Trump card in his back pocket. It seems like he is too smart to keep it going for no reason, but the propaganda is wild out there. Thank you to Donna, again, who says, new, LOL. Thank you to Panther, who says, ABL for president. Thank you to JVS H-Town, who says, if people aren't mad now, just wait until someone falsely doxes them on Twitter for stepping outside without a mask on, and the police show up at their door. Then reality would say that. Exactly. Yeah. And that's crazy. And now, luckily, where I live, the police chief got on TV and said that we're not going to enforce any kind of mask ordinance or law. He got on TV and said that right in front of the camera, like he was in his office at a press interview. It wasn't even like they caught him on the street. He did an actual interview where he said he would not enforce it. So really, it's just about if you want to wear it or not. Let me see. Thank you to Patrick, who says, show me a pic of Big Mike pregnant. Good luck finding that one. Thank you to Spider Games, who says, AOC wants all Republicans lined up and shot. What a drama queen. Well, this is communism. You know, we've already seen this before. This has all been written before. It's all happened before. It's not anything new. All you have with AOC is Adolf Hitler and a Bronx Puerto Rican skin. That's it. Thank you to Orestes Moha, who says, where we go one, we go all. Thank you to Coach Shisu, who says, hey, ABL, have you heard of the latest fake hate crime? Clifton Etsy, Utsi, spray painted his own BMW. He really went too far with it. I saw that. Yeah, spray painted his own car with hate stuff on it. Now, my thing is, when does this actually happen where somebody gets hate symbols spray painted? That's not even a thing that happens. The only time I see swastikas and, N-words and things like that, like spray painted on people's cars and their houses is when it's fake. I only ever see it when it's fake. People that do that think that happens out there in the world. They think it's like a normal thing that happens. It does not happen. Okay, this whole thing of racism is just overblown. It's overblown so much that they don't even know that it doesn't really happen at all, ever. It's like a Klan rally or something like that. It doesn't happen. It's just not really a thing. You see much more fake stuff involving hate crimes like this, white on black than anything else. Thank you to David, who says, what are the freest and not so free states in 2020? Oh, the freest states, go to a state that has low population. Wyoming, the Dakotas, Montana, maybe a place like Idaho, Utah probably. You got polygamy and stuff up there, but that's a different story. Texas still, Tennessee, Georgia, not Atlanta, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida. Florida's a big one. Aside from that, I don't really know. Maybe Maine, maybe. But the not so free states, California. Oh my goodness. California, the whole left coast really. But California. And the funny part is that California, Oregon, Washington State, and the cities especially, once you go out to the countryside in California, it's a little bit different, but you still got the state stuff, high taxes. But anyway, the funny part about California is that they purport themselves to be like this really forward thinking and progressive and liberal place, right? That's their whole wave. But in reality, it's something a little bit different. Okay, all their so-called progressive ideals come at the point of a gun. Okay, we got to have higher taxes because people, they need the assistance, they need these programs and things like that. And if you don't pay taxes, you're going to go to the penitentiary. And a tax man come and garnish your wages. It's not free. They purport themselves to be free, but it's not. So definitely the left coast. New York City, especially, not free. But definitely left coast, California, in the cities. Out in the countryside, away from the cities is better. But still, you still on the left coast. Let me see. Thank you to Charles Turner Jr., who says there are great new U.S. representatives like Burgess Owens in Utah, Lauren Boebert in Colorado, Madison Cawthorn in North Carolina. The House is almost even. It's funny how we gained like 10 to 12 seats in the House on our Republican side, but we lost the election. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, thank you to Thomas Blakemore Jr., who says, happy birthday to my loving wife, Yvette, or Vet, love you. Well, happy birthday to her. Hopefully she's enjoying the day. Hopefully everything has been great today, Vet. So enjoy your day. Happy birthday. Thank you to Mandatory Carey, who says, hashtag keep fighting, and Omar is illegal. There you go. Santo Bartes says, these attacks on toxic masculinity are also attacks on femininity. Traditional feminine women are being pushed aside for trans and masculine appearing women as men and shamed into embracing femininity. You know what? That's a good point. It's like this whole thing with the sports where you got these so-called trans women dominating actual women. And the most egregious case of it was Fallon Fox. Now, I think I did a video about this a few years ago, but Fallon Fox is a transgender MMA fighter. I'm talking about male to female. So they are a male, like physically, obviously, like your bone structure, your hips, your genitalia, it doesn't change because you identify as a woman. You could do a little snip or whatever. You still, at the end of the day, are a man. But anyway, this person, Fallon Fox, cracked a woman's skull in a ring. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. Like, you're literally beating a woman as a man and you're getting paid for it. It was crazy. So that's probably the worst case. You're beating this woman to death because you have an unfair advantage by being a man. Now, she, quote unquote, did lose one time to a woman, but that's bogus. At the end of the day, if you know how to fight and you're a man, you're not going to lose to a woman, period. I don't care how big she is or nothing, you're not going to lose. But I digress. Thank you to Justice Smith, who says, Biden is your daddy, JLP voice. Thank you to Orestes, who says, let no man pull you so low as to hate him, MLK Jr. Thank you to What's Your Problem, who says, keep it up with the workout emoji. Thank you to Gypsy Queen for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Grateful Driver, who says, appreciate your knowledge. Hey, no problem. Thank you for your support. Thank you to Chelsea Biggers, who says, I feel like I belong to a different generation. I'm fine with men being masculine. I can change oil in a car, but I don't want to. Glad you're back, ABL. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. And thank you for being a woman and proud to be a woman. Thank you to Sir Vicente for the popcorn emoji and the donation. Thank you to Melanie Newman, who says, the virus is nothing more than a common cold. That's how I feel. But I get attacked for saying that. Thank you to Lynette G, who says, I'd like to know how many people that test positive for the virus wear a mask. Very, very good question. There's probably quite a few that test positive to wear a mask because a lot of people got it in the nursing home. So if you got it there, you probably wearing a mask the whole time. You come over here, right here. You're trying to avoid that camera. You're funny. All right, thank you for the tea. All right, let me see. Megan says, hey, ABL, do you think Trump will win? What do you think his chances are? I think he's going to win. The chances, I'm not really sure. 50-50, I'm still kind of on that. I really don't know as of right now. Thank you to Terenius, who says, Biden wants all of us to get better Cathcar. Thank you to a patriotic woman who says, keep telling the truth, will do. Thank you for your donation and your very kind words. Thank you to James, who says, ABL, what is a good free education if there's no jobs to use the education? Exactly. And what is a free education if it's not actually good? Because how good can a free education be? You see K through 12 right now. How good is that? I digress. Thank you to Nippon, who says this isn't Republican versus Democrat anymore. It's people versus New World Order. Wake up America. Hashtag stop the steal. There you go. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Now, thank you to Niles for your donation as well. Let's get to the calls. It's quite a few things to talk about. I've not had the calls in a while, so I know you guys want to go ahead and call in. You guys know the drill. If you don't know, the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number's always in the description box. At least it should be. Let me check it out, make sure it's there. Yep, it is there. So 434-658-1220. Let me make sure that everything's on the up and up on my sound and all that good stuff. Okay, that's good there. All right, Nippon, what's happening?
How are you?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Yeah, well, the last time we spoke, Donald Trump was still, and most likely still will be, the president.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, ABL. I saw this whole fiasco coming. This is 2000 2.0. By the way, what do you think of the shirt? I don't know if the others can see it. I bought this from your store.
Oh, yeah, I see. I didn't even see your shirt. Yeah, 1776. I like it, man.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, yeah, so yeah, Obama insults a black man for voting for Trump.
That's right.
Just proving me right that the Democrats are intolerable of caring about how other people feel. Yet we are told that we're intolerable.
Oh, of course. That's always what they do. Is always do as I say, but never as I do. They want you to be tolerable and tolerant to people, but they can't do that themselves.
You know what I was hearing about the masks? Like, oh, wear this, wear that. You know what? I remember seeing on the BBC that Kamala Harris and Mike Pence were walking into the vice presidential debate. Kamala Harris, no mask. Mike Pence, mask. And somehow the Democrats were saying that the Republicans tell you not to wear the mask.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is dumb. And I feel like a lot of them probably had the virus too, but they don't want to tell you they had the virus. I think maybe Joe Biden had the virus, but didn't want to tell anybody because then it would kind of go against this whole thing about wearing the mask. Because, like, okay, if you wore a mask and you still got it, how'd you get it? How did that work? So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I personally do wear the mask because if I don't wear it, I probably won't be allowed to go any places. So for the sake of... Oh, yeah, by the way, we're in lockdown again.
So is it a national lockdown? How are they doing a lockdown? How is it actually happening?
Well, it's a national lockdown, but not a total lockdown. It's much more less strict than it was before. Like supermarkets are open. And the schools are open, but you just can't go and see your friends and families.
So you can't go visit anybody? Is there a limit on people or just no visits with friends and family?
I don't think you can. You can only say hi from the doorstep.
Wow.
I mean, like...
Now, do you guys have Thanksgiving over there?
No.
Okay.
No, we don't.
How about Christmas?
Yes, well, Christmas is everywhere, unless you live in Saudi.
All right. Now, are you guys going to have Christmas still?
As far as I'm concerned, the lockdown ends on the 2nd of December.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see.
So that's about 14 days till this whole fraudulent lockdown comes to an end.
So when did the lockdown start?
On the 5th of November.
Okay, it's like a 28-day lockdown. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yep. So, Um, Now Candace Owens destroys feminism. You go, girl. She needs to run for president
Oh yeah, I think she
in
would definitely have
in
a
the
big
future.
chance. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ABL, you need to run for something like. Do you still live in Chattanooga?
Yes.
I feel you need to run for you need to run for the mayor's office,
Hey, you
or
never know.
to succeed Marsha Blackburn when she either retires, or like if she decides to stay on until her dying, until her, you know what I mean, like either
Right.
retires or
Well, one thing about it that I
retire.
want to say is that it's a lot of politicians that are kind of up there in age. Like people are like, I've been around here meeting people that are politicians, and these guys
Well,
are like 60, 70, 80. So it's like you got to have um the new breed come up and replace them because you can't live forever.
or maybe you could run for the governor of Tennessee.
Hey, I could do a lot of different things. So who knows?
Speaking of which, if you were to run for governor, would it be West Virginia, Virginia, or Tennessee?
Probably Tennessee or West Virginia, but probably Tennessee, not
Oh yeah,
Virginia.
because you won't have a chance there,
Yeah,
obviously,
not right now, nah, because it's a blue state. So
of course.
either
But
here or West Virginia.
so is Massachusetts, and their governor is a Republican.
Yeah, but it's different. It's different here. Like in Virginia, it's basically controlled by Washington D.C. because it's right there. So it's a whole different ball of wax right there. But hey, I got a few
Cool.
more calls on the line, so I'm gonna get to those.
It was nice catching up with you, ABL.
Oh, definitely, man. Appreciate the call as always.
Yep, I shall speak to you on on Saturday.
All right, talk to you then.
I'll speak to you then.
All righty, man.
Peace.
Peace. All righty, we got quite a few calls on the line. Again, the number to call is 434-658-1220. If you want to do Skype like Nippon did and be right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, there's the email for that in the description box below. But let's get to the next one. 314 on the line, what's speaking to?
Oh yeah, this is Adam.
All righty, man, what's going on?
I was just kind of wondering what your thought was on the perhaps in 2024 maybe like a Cruise Holly run or something like that by chance, something like that, or what you thought about that?
You said Cruz Holly.
Yeah, yes sir.
Who is Holly now?
Josh Hawley, he's from Missouri. He was the one that was grilling that Facebook guy today
Zuckerberg.
or yesterday. Yeah, yes sir.
Yeah, I mean that could work. I don't know a lot about him, but
He's
it could.
pretty. Yeah, he's pretty good. Conservative. Really strong in that regard and everything too. So, just kind of a thought I was thinking, putting it out there.
I mean, I think in 2024 it's going to be up for grabs. Really, it's going to be a lot of people. I mean, we got to get this whole thing with the fraud under control, because if you can't get that under control, then it doesn't really matter. But I think that there are quite a few guys that could run and they could have some success for sure.
Right. Yeah. I appreciate you taking my call. Have a good night.
All right, thank you for the call.
Yep.
Okay, Josh Hawley, Hawley. I had no idea. I've seen that name, but I don't know a lot about him. All right, let's get to a few more. 720, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Russ from the People's Republic of Denver. How are you?
Everything's great, man. About yourself?
Oh, man, this entire election has been an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it has been that.
Yeah, so, I've been watching the returns election night, and I'm very confident he's going to win, and all of a sudden everything stops, and I'm, in suspense, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then when I find that, the fraudulent votes are taking over and Biden's in the lead, and then all of a sudden the media calls, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck's going on? And then all of a sudden I get a lot of posts on my Facebook page saying Biden is the winner. Yeah, he beat that mean old Trump guy. we're finally free from racism, fascism. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I just had to pretty much just get rid of all those people. And I'm talking about people that normally aren't political, that don't post anything political. All of a sudden, their true colors show, and they're just like, yeah, finally we're rid of Trump. And so I had to get rid of all of those people. And so now I feel a lot better now that President Trump and his legal team are fighting back against all of this, because this is a stolen election, pure and simple, and I'm glad that he has people on his side that are helping him fight back. Because and I'm also grateful for the million people that showed up in D.C. over the week, and it shows that we have true patriots, and that 70 plus million people voted for Trump, and we're not going to take this thing lying down. We're going to fight it to the very end. My concern is whether or not SCOTUS is going to take this case. I know you have Roberts that's kind of on the fence here, because he might not even want to take the case just because of his strong dislike for the president, and also the thing that happened in Wayne County, Michigan, where a couple Republicans just folded and let Wayne due to being accused of racism. I didn't like that at all. It's like, you know what, that word gets tossed around so frequently that it just becomes stale. And so the fact that these people didn't have a spine to stand up to that, it disgusts me, because the thing is, if this isn't stopped, then what makes you think that come 2024, when a Republican gets to run again, that they're not going to try this thing again? This has to be stopped now. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. And so this whole, well, look at the silver lining, we gained more seats in the House, and, we currently got the Senate. And so, we have the upper hand here. So even if Biden gets in, he's not going to be able to do a lot. It's like, no, these silver linings, okay, it's nice that you're looking at some positives here. But the thing is we've had a major voter fraud take place. And not only do we need to get this reversed and get this shut down once and for all, but we need to have, patriots that are fighting alongside us, because it's only Trump and his legal team. You got rhinos that are trying to undermine him. People like Ben Sass and Mitt Romney and a few others that don't want him in the office, that would rather prefer Biden, not realizing that the moment you have that a Democrat in the office, guess what? It's going to be very impossible to get a Republican elected again. You might have Biden, out within like the first month, but then it's going to be like 12 years of Kamala Harris. First term, she's finishing Biden's, and then the second, she's going to be having her own, and then she'll be reelected to her second term, and she'll be in office 12 years total, and that, by then, the entire country will be just gone downhill, and this will be a banana republic. So we need to get this taken care of ASAP. That's why I want Sidney Powell to release the Kraken.
That's right. I'm right there with you, man, for sure.
So this is just kind of what's been on my mind, ABL. It's been on my mind the last couple of weeks. I'm frustrated. I want this thing over and done with, and I want the results to be in our favor. And, I pray every night that the legal team gets some clarity here, that we have as much evidence as possible, that judges will not be able to throw any of this out, because I am tired of the fake news media saying, oh, despite no evidence, and then they're going to say, well, they have little evidence, and then they're going to say, oh, well, they do have some evidence, but it's not enough to overturn the results. I am tired of this fake news media trying to push the goalpost back, and they're not even curious. They're just going to say, well, Biden's the winner. It's over and done with. Get over it. I'm sick and tired of that.
There you go, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep. Take care, man. Bye.
All right. Great call. Yeah. You got to get it together right now, because some people are saying, oh, well, it's okay. Let it go because we got the Senate. We're getting seats in the House. Nah, because the thing is, if you just let it go, then it'll happen again. And then it'll be more and more and more to where you never win. And then it just becomes, at a certain point, if they just keep asking you out through this fraud and you let it happen, you have a one-party state. Then you become just communist China. which is what they actually want at the end of it. And I don't think that you guys would really want that to be the case. You know, I don't think people want to be living in communist China. So let's get to a few more calls here. The number to call is in the description box below, and it's also being posted in the chat. Shout out to Bill from the Hills. Thank you for that, man. And also the Skype email is in the description box and also throughout the chat. But let me get to the next call here. 505, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Ambrose. I'm here in New Mexico.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just letting you know, like on the Navajo Nation, I was looking at how they were saying how they turned Arizona. And they got a pandemic. They got like $764 million for the pandemic. But my mom, she went over to Sherbrooke Hospital for just a regular migraine, and they were trying to treat her for COVID, trying to admit her and fly her to Albuquerque.
Wow.
And she was just telling them, listen, I've hit my head, I got a dizzy spell, I just want to check that out. And she said that they're walking around all in their bubble suits, but they're sitting there. But the thing is, on the Navajo Nation, as a treaty agreement, they get free Medicare. But when you go over there, they want you to apply for Medicaid so they can double dip it.
I see. Okay. It's about money, really.
That's right. So that's why I told my mom. I said, when you walk in there, it's already a government facility hospital. You got all these intern nurses and doctors learning off you. But when everybody walks in there, of course they're going to start telling you got COVID, you know, especially in New Mexico and Arizona.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense.
Plus our fine governor, too, shut us down, locked us down, and I called her 1-800 number. And then also it just says an update. Thank you for your input. Leave your name, your number, and then it says, here's the website that you can report if your neighbors are having more than 10 people over.
Wow. So we got like Germany back in the Nazi days where you got to telling your neighbor they're doing something wrong.
That's right. Some Stasi stuff. I'm going to call my neighbor in for having too many people over for Thanksgiving, but this is our governor, Michelle Lujan, that was trying to be a VP for Biden. But I'm just letting you know that here in New Mexico, a lot of people we lost the state by 90,000 votes, but Santa Fe County all of a sudden picked up 10,000 extra votes on the Democrat side, whereas Republican side we only picked up 1,000 compared to their 10,000.
Yeah, it seems kind of weird, doesn't it? Seems kind of off.
Dang right it does. I was trying to look at all that, but it just amazed me how the Navajo Nation all voted for Biden, but I was trying to explain to everybody, if the Navajo Nation wants America to be just like them, their government. They just want to run off the government, feed off the government. So it's just kind of a downhill spiral, you know.
That's right.
But God bless you and everything you do. I appreciate everything on there, all your views, your support, your knowledge, and I'm thankful to call you and let you know. Keep up the good work, my brother.
And thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You take care. God bless.
All right. Shout out to the Navajo Nation. And like he said, it's all kind of funny things going on with the vote total, and all kind of funny things going on with this virus, and they're trying to get money. But that's something that I think we all knew would happen. Hospitals doing the wrong thing, trying to get some of this money, trying to get some of that money. That's what it's about. Sorry about that, hitting the microphone, but it's all kind of overblown numbers because there's money involved. And then you got some countries that are just not really reporting it. You got guys talking about, oh, well, America has all these new virus cases. China doesn't have it. It's like China. You believe whatever China tells you. China, first of all, there was videos coming out of them welding people inside their houses. Like if you were in the house, if that you might have had the virus or you were exposed to it or whatever, you were welded inside your house. They put a bar on your front door and they welded the bar shut so you couldn't get out. They might have barred your windows out too. So you were literally trapped in your house. If you don't got food, hey man, I don't know what they're gonna do. They might slide you a hot meal through the slot. They might put a slot in your door like a doggy door or something, or a mailbox like you're in a penitentiary. And then they had a so-called hospital that was built, but it was really a penitentiary because the doors would lock from the outside, but you couldn't, like if you close the door, it'll lock, and it will only unlock from the outside. You were in jail, and they want to trust China with their actual data and numbers, but it just puts you in prison without any kind of crime being committed. But I digress. All right, Carlin, I'm speaking to 617.
Hey, ABL, man.
What's happening?
Why you spreading lies, man? That the election was rigged, man.
Did I say it was rigged?
Yeah, you said it was fraud. There was fraud. That's what you said earlier.
Well, I said that there was a lot of. What I said was it's a lot of improprieties with the votes. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I didn't say anything about being rigged. I did not use that language, but it's all kind of improprieties.
Yeah, but in all elections there are impropriety irregularities, not just in this one. Actually, this one was the most secure, according to the cybersecurity head of Homeland Security. So that the one that Trump fired with a tweet because he said that and they disagree. The whistleblower, you remember that whistleblower from the Postal Service?
What about
Remember Richard Hawkins? He lied. He admitted that we made all this stuff up. Do you remember the other whistleblower from, I think it was Michigan? The lady that was working she made it all that up. She said she never saw any improper ballots. She just saw some trucks, and those trucks, those trucks that were delivering food. The Inspector General from the Attorney General office says it's not having found any. Bill Barr said they haven't found anything. Yes, there were improprieties, but even in this both cyber content, Biden still will get the 270 electoral votes. So far what we've seen, I mean, sure there could be something major, but so far until now, there's nothing.
Okay, so all right. So what are the improprieties? What happened?
Well, I guess one in Georgia where there was 8,000 votes that wasn't counted. Someone because they didn't meet the criteria, so they had to toss some of those votes. But they did the same thing to Biden. Some of the votes that were for Biden, they didn't meet the impropriety, and they were toasted too. So this notion that was fraud.
All right. So check it out. Check it out. Stop talking. Check it out. Now, what I asked earlier was, do the numbers make sense? Do you think that Joe Biden got 10 million more votes than Hillary Clinton against an incumbent president? Does it? Wait. I'm not finished. Wait. Quiet. Does it make sense? Quiet. Like if you can't stop talking, you can't hear the question. Does it make sense?
Makes sense. I'm going to explain you why. During the Hillary Clinton campaign, I mean, with the election day, right? A lot of people did not go out and vote because they thought that Hillary will win by far. They were going to the polls. They were going to. They were expecting everything that they saw on TV. Oh, she's 12 points here, 14 points. Texas, she's gonna take. Florida, she's gonna take. So people are like, yo, why I'm gonna spend 3 hours to vote? So people didn't go and vote. People did not go and vote. Even if you look at in the primaries, in the primaries, they voted more than the election night. In the election night in 2016.
You said what now?
You know that? During the primaries, when Biden was running and Bernie Sanders, there were more votes that were casted than the election night in 2016. That tells you that people were going to go.
How many votes were casted for the Democrats in 2018?
There were more votes casted.
The question, sir, sir, quiet. I'm gonna put you on mute. The question I asked you was, how many votes were casted for the sir? Quiet. The question was, how many votes were casted for the Democratic Party in 2018?
For in the primaries?
Yes.
Over 40 million votes, I believe.
40 million, that's all?
40 million votes.
So if it's 40 million, that's not more than it was in election night. So
but in the election night, a lot of the votes came from the because they voted early voting. I'm not talking about the whole thing. In the same night, there were more votes combined. Even in the primaries, people don't vote a lot. People in the primaries don't vote a lot.
So wait a minute. Okay, so are you saying that there? Are you saying so? Quiet. Look, listen. When I start talking, you got to just shut up and let me talk. Now, are you saying that there were more votes casted on election? Are you saying there was more votes casted during the primary in 2018 than election night in 2020? This election?
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the election day.
That was a question I asked you if you were listening.
There were more votes casted in all the primaries.
That's not really a good. That's not a good number. I'm gonna go ahead and just talk. That's not a really good thing to say because, like, it doesn't make any. That's irrelevant. You need to like compare apples to apples. You're comparing one day of voting to like weeks of voting. That doesn't make any sense. Compare it more towards the 2016 election, and then look at it that way because it wasn't like that in 2016 when there was actually less votes than this time. So let's just put it, okay, if you had 40 million votes that were casted for the Democratic Party in 2018 during the primary, that's not anywhere near the 75 million that Joe Biden allegedly got. So that was just kind of a weird thing to even say. So you can move on to your next thing. But you know what? As you're talking, I couldn't even hear you, and they couldn't hear you either. So you talking to yourself the whole time. So if you want to restart, you can go ahead and do that, or I'll get to the next call. Listen. Are you listening to me? All right. So you're not really cooperating. So have a nice night. Like when I was talking just now for like a good minute and a half, he was continuously talking. I didn't even hear him. I had my sound off. When I turned my sound back on, he was still talking. It's like you can't listen to somebody if you're going to be talking when they're talking. All right. Let's get to the next call. Unknown caller, who am I speaking to? Hello, unknown caller. I cannot hear you if you're talking.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, yeah.
What's going on? Who am I speaking to?
You're talking to Anthony Fisher.
All righty, man. What's going on?
I'm doing good. Sorry, I guess my playback's a little.
Yeah, don't watch the stream. Just talk to me on the phone.
Yeah, no. So I got a question for you. It's kind of a weird one. It has to do with this quote unquote. A lot of people have been coming up and they've been talking about this quote unquote race war, which is kind of odd to say. I don't really think it's a race war, but I want to know your whole. I wanted to know your whole your stance on if it could possibly lead to some. I'm not going to say a full-out war, but as a more of a I don't know, more I wouldn't say rioting, but actual maybe killings, like purposeful killings, not just the beatings and things we've seen with the riots going on in LA and Minnesota or whatever. But I was wondering if maybe you would think that this quote unquote race war could actually escalate in some way, shape, or fashion, not regarding who is president, whether it's Trump or, God forbid, Biden.
No, like I think you might have like these little incidents that happen at some of these rallies and or marches, but it won't be a race war. And the crazy part now is that BLM is mostly like a white group. So it's like, okay, if you have BLM versus, I'm not really sure what the right wing affiliate. There's not really a right wing group that's like going to be out there. Let's just say BLM versus a prototypical random white right wing group that may or may not exist. If they fight, it'd be white on white for the most part. So how is it a race war? It's not. So just from that point of view, it doesn't even make any sense. It's not going to be. And then beyond that, these subversive groups are kind of small. These BLM and whatnot, they're kind of small. So when you're talking about a war, I think it'd be kind of a bigger scale. So I don't think it would go anything beyond these groups like to fight all the time.
Yeah, that's why I say quote unquote. 'Cause, I mean, if you look at anything, the Black Lives Matter, Antifa, whatever, it's mostly white. But the word I keep hearing is, race war, race war, race war. But all I keep seeing is nothing, just young white on white, and every now and again there will be a black or a Puerto Rican or Mexican or whoever thrown in there.
Right.
So my whole thing is just. You do believe that it could be more of a. I just saw something said culture war, more of a cultural war, not less of a race
ain't gonna be
war.
no war. What's gonna happen is this. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Because I understand what you're trying to say. First of all, it won't be a race war because any of these groups that are fighting that claim to be racially motivated or that people claim to be racially motivated on the outside sometimes aren't even really like that. And it's mostly going to be white on white. So the race war from that point of view can't actually make sense to happen. And then most people are not going to be involved. They're going to be at the house playing the PS5, watching the Netflix, eating popcorn, bonbons, pizza, and just chilling. So they're not even really going to be involved in no kind of skirmish. And most guys they're trying to go to work. They're not really trying to be involved in nothing like that. And there's not really this whole big racial thing between people. Most people get along pretty well. But that's one thing. Second thing is a cultural war. There's going to be not actual literal battling. There won't be any kind of bloodshed over the culture. It'll be more of a, ideological type of thing. Okay, I believe this, you believe that. Let's have debates. Let's figure out who's best. And I think that kind of war could be fought on social media with tech companies and music industry and stuff like that. It'd be kind of a war propaganda. It wouldn't be anything other than that, in my humble opinion. And I feel like who's better able to get the message out there to spread their word the best, I think they will be the victor. And the way you can win that is by having the most influence upon people to spread your particular message. So I think that'd be how that works.
I agree with that too, but the problem with that is, if you think about it, the left, the liberal media, the whatever, I would like to assume that side is more of a minority, not the majority. But I feel like the problem is the big tech and the media constantly, taking up arms, or quote unquote arms, taking their side. Like when Trump, the first thing.
Well, hold on. I got to cut in because we got limited time. I understand. I know where you're going. The thing about social media is that has to be a legal fight because social media has the privilege of operating as a platform, not a publisher. So the whole the 230, that whole thing. So if they are following the law, then they can't do what they're doing. They can't be trying to editorialize and censor. They can't do that according to the law. If they want to do that, they can, but they cannot have legal protection that a social media platform is able to have under Section 230. They got to be now a publisher the same as a newspaper like New York Times, Washington Post. If they post anything on their platform or anything is on their platform, then they're liable legally under the publisher laws. So I think that'd be more of a legal thing, dealing with lawyers in courtrooms, maybe even go all the way to the Supreme Court. And we have the advantage there, 6-3 or 5.5 to 4.5, 5.5 to 3.5 if you want to see it. So I think that we could have something going there. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right, now. But yeah, the whole thing with the social media, it's got to be fought in a legal way. Section 230, that's going to be how that is fought. Twitter, Facebook, all these hearings and stuff like that on Capitol Hill, it's a dog and pony show until you get down to the meat and potatoes of the whole situation, which is the fact that Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and everybody else are violating Section 230 of the CDA. And by that, they have the ability to operate as a platform, not a publisher. If you are a platform, and let's just say Joe Blow post something on Twitter, Twitter can't get sued for that because they didn't do it. They are a platform. Somebody else did it. It's third-party information. It's third-party, content. It's not their own first-party stuff. But then when they start to editorialize and censor and add links and, curate articles and write their own stuff, now they're publishing. Now they're doing the exact same thing that a New York Times would do. They got editors and a review team and the board and all this and that. They got people over in content and, quality control. That's called a publisher. And as a publisher, now you can get sued for whatever you put on there because, you going through it, right? You moderating, right? Oh, okay, since you want to do that, then how about this? If you moderate something that is not right, or you fail to moderate a thing in the correct way, you're going to be held liable. So if that happens and they're held to those laws, then they gotta stop doing all of what they're doing and go back to the way it was from the beginning, where you could just kind of be a little bit more free. Going to Parlor and stuff like that, I think is a wrong move, because all you do is just kind of acquiesce and let them do whatever they want. You can go to Parlor and that's fine, but if you leave Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that and let this whole legal thing go, then they'll continue to dominate the means of communication. They'll have all the everything, all the money, all the big tech and the liberal media. They have all of that, and whatever you put into Parlor would be kind of like a pebble on the mountain that they have as far as market share. Google has like 99% of the ad market. What you gonna do with that if you just leave the platform and go to a very small, insignificant platform? You may as well just put your tweets in the shoebox and throw them under your bed. But I digress. All righty, let's go. 870, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is the River Blue, Mr. Logan. How are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. About yourself?
Doing great. Loving your live chat. So glad you put up a number for us to call. I never miss one.
Well, thank you for calling. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. I appreciate Candace Owens. I appreciate Brother Brandon Tatum and Ben Shapiro and everything you guys are doing. It keeps us going. We, the people, need people like you. We need you, and we're grateful for you, and you don't go unnoticed or unheard. You're making solid points as usual. This is not over. The thing that I heard Mr. Giuliani talking about concerning these swing states and the machines, the software rather, that was used is fraudulent, and it is actually, from what Mr. Giuliani has stated, what was used in Venezuela that has kept them under this horrible dictatorship.
Right.
Have you heard about that? Yeah. And I do believe when this is over, our President Trump will still be our President Trump. I have faith.
Yeah, I mean, there's a really good chance, because there's so much coming out as well as to all these the improprieties and the fraud. There's so much coming out. I think that there'll probably be more that comes out as we go throughout this whole process. I
agree. I absolutely agree, and that keeps me going.
That's
I just know that Dems are they're so foul. And I'll say this, I've stated this, and I try not to say too much about it, but I come from a highly political Democratic family. I won't mention the state. I don't go by my real name, and there's a reason for that. And I would like people to understand that because of my family, I know how dirty the Democrats are. The power that they wield is so scary. And it is it's just socialism. It's communism. There's no freedom of speech. It's their way. And it is about power, money, and absolute control. That's the Democratic Party as a whole. And I know this, like I said, Mr. Logan, because of my family. And I love this Blexit. I learned about this through all of you, and I'm so excited about it. The more people that realize the Dems use people. Sir, they do. They use people to get those votes, and they'll never hold up to one promise. It's not in them to do that, because it is all about control. And I don't want to stay on here too long. I know there's other people trying to get through, and I thank God I was able to get through. Please know I appreciate you, and please keep doing what you're doing, because you matter, and you're heard, and you are so greatly appreciated, sir.
Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
And you have a good night. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. Great call. Excellent call. I'll get to a few more here. Calling you on the line. I'm speaking to 757.
Yeah, Mr. Logan. Chesapeake caller here.
All right, man. What's going on?
I don't know if you remember me. I called you about 4 weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
This will be the second time I've called you. Can you see my number, by the way?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, it's very distinctive. Notice the last 4 digits.
Yeah, I see it. Right.
That's just a funny thing I've had for about 20 years.
Ah.
Anyhow, I kind of said something about this last time about, well, what happens if the world ends and Joe Biden wins this election, which I still don't think is going to happen, but it might. What is the media going to do with Trump? Because you know he's not going away. Can you remember that call?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what I said. Did you ask me that question before?
I did. That was on the last call, and you were like, and you put your hand on your chin, and you're like, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. Normally, I'm a traveling software consultant, but I've been homebound for, like everybody else for the last, 7-8 months. And before that, I was I was in the Navy for 20 years, which makes sense since I live in Chesapeake, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to leave you with a scenario. Is that okay?
Go for it.
Okay. So let's say that Biden gets elected. They're not going to push him for a second, and Kamala Harris is going to get primaried because nobody likes her. I think, and I'm an uneducated man but well-informed, I think the leading candidate is Gavin BYW Newsom. And I did it that way because I didn't want to say what Jericho Green calls it. Want to be clean here.
Right now, hold on. For President Gavin Newsom?
Yes. In
What?
2024, because they'll primary Kamala because she's going to be president, okay? So they'll primary her with Gavin. Okay? So Gavin is the Democrat nominee. Now, instead of having Trump run again, and this, I just want to put a smile on your face, just instead of having Trump run again, let's have Trump Jr. run again. Now, why would that be entertaining?
I mean, I called that some months ago. I said that Trump Jr. would run because I was traveling a lot last year and I would see him everywhere. He was everywhere I went and more places. It's like, okay, you have a book and that's fine. You're trying to sell the book. But beyond that, he was traveling like he was campaigning. So I felt like he'd be the next guy to, run out of the Trump family. It makes sense to me.
I think you're right. I think he enjoys campaigning just as much as his father does. And I think he would be a good president.
Definitely.
However, my point is a little more hilarious. Why would it be funny to see Gavin BYW Newsom?
Kimberly.
You the man.
I didn't even put two and two together, but then when you said it like that, I'm like, oh, okay, I see.
That on its face would be worth 8 months of campaigning.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But, I mean, I hate to go down the gutter, but that's kind of where I live. But I try to do it cleanly. So they get into a debate, and Trump Jr. is like, "Why should you be president? You couldn't even keep my girlfriend." I just wanted to pass that on to you, just giving you a little humor for the night. And I appreciate you taking my call.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Remember my number.
I got you, boss.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that. I remember, so Kimberly Guilfoyle, that's Don Jr.'s girlfriend. She was married to Gavin Newsom, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna look her up right now just to make sure that either they were married or they were together. Yeah, she was married to Gavin Newsom from 2001 to 2006. So they're married for 5 years. Okay. Now, does she have the child with Gavin? Who is the child with? I'm gonna look it up right quick, and then I'm gonna get right back to it. Okay. Let me see. Nah, she had the son with her second husband. So yeah, but they were married, and she went by Kimberly Guilfoyle Newsom. Yep. Interesting. That'd be crazy. All right, let's get to some more calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Romer, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, thanks for taking my call.
Hey, it's all good, man. What's happening?
Ugh, a lot of stuff is going on, man. This election, I mean, as you know from other people who've called in, like a lot of anxiety going on. But there's something specifically I wanted to talk to you about. It's the Dominion electronic voting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, the Dominion electronic voting is actually centered in Toronto. I don't know if you heard that.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, it's centered in Toronto, and many of the people who are, like the people involved with the Dominion voting system, are in close ties with George Soros.
Oh, of course. Of course they had to be, have Soros ties.
Right. So, I mean, this just shows you like how desperate it is. And I mean, it's definitely no coincidence either when you consider like all the countries that decided to congratulate Biden on his so-called elect victory. The first ones to do it were Canada, Germany, France, the UK, and majority of the European Union countries. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Right. So and then speaking of the whole lockdown thing, I know it's going crazy in Europe. I wanted to see, like, I wanted to get your input on a specific Twitter user. He's not that popular, but he actually posted a 50 tweet page. His name is Deso, Deso, and he made this tweet about like how it goes. Like he actually ended up predicting that there would be a lockdown going on with the COVID back on January 11th. And he says that there are only two possible ways, like two ways to make sure that Europe can be economically stable. It's if whether people, like in the winter, for this upcoming winter, that is. Mm-hmm. The first one being that they have a mask on, only like that they have a mask on that covers their mouth when they're outside, and when they're inside, that they keep the heating on to about 20 degrees, well, what they call ambient temperature or room temperature.
Now, so when you say that, you got to say Fahrenheit, because we don't go off the Celsius. So what is 20 degrees? What is 20 degrees Fahrenheit?
Sorry, not 20 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius.
So hold on, I'm gonna do a little bit of conversion.
Sure.
So that's for us, that's 68. Okay.
That's 68. So 68 Fahrenheit. It would have to be 68 Fahrenheit just to make sure that the particles don't zoom in too fast. So that way, as to avoid the particles spreading to other people who are within the vicinities. I just wanted to see what your input was on that.
I mean, these things to me kind of it's kind of nonsensical, and I feel like it won't really do a lot. This whole mask thing isn't really working that well. I don't think, because a lot of people are catching it with masks on. They're catching it in nursing homes where everybody's wearing masks. So I think the main thing is that the lockdowns are a big part of the problem. Homeless people aren't really catching it that much, and they don't have any kind of protection equipment. They're not doing any distancing. They're outside, exposed to the elements. I think that's one of the main things we got to do, is be outside more rather than trying to be inside when you're not even sick. If you're sick and you thrown up or whatever, stay at home. Like you would do normally. Like, okay, if you're sick, you don't go to school, get a sick day, stay at home. That's what should happen, rather than being just outside gallivanting with a mask on, or having the mask on indoors when you're not sick.
Right. Okay. And then just one final thing, especially with what's going on in all the contested states. So we know for sure that Trump has already gotten Pennsylvania and Georgia, or is that still going on?
That's still going on as far as I know. Last I checked, I think Georgia was blue, but it could go red. I think it's still going on. I'm not really sure.
Right. I've only been so far following what Tim Pool has said. Like some of them are saying like that he will get Pennsylvania, he will get Georgia, and then right now, and then I also heard about Trump filing a $3 million lawsuit. What's going on with that?
Well, there's all kind of legal action all over the country because of the results and a lot of different things that are happening. So I think that we'll see what the result of all the legal action and what the ultimate purpose is as we get a little bit further past today.
Right. And there's just one final thing I wanted to also let you know. So in Canada, like we have something called the Bank of Canada, like a corporate national bank. They actually just created a new what's it called? A new plan, like a new business plan for people who are operating under them. Guess what it's called?
What's that?
The Great Reset.
Yeah, that's crazy. But you
Yeah.
know what? I was told that was a conspiracy theory and it's not really real, but obviously that is not accurate.
Yeah, the fact that like even I mean the fact that Joe Biden even mentioned stuff about like the whole Great Reset. Sorry, not so much the Great Reset, but the Dark Winter. I feel like like those two together, it's not a conspiracy at all. Like these are real things that can happen should he get elected. And it's weird because like like even though they're supposed to be talking about financial banking, they talk so much about climate change. So I feel like something really spooky is going on here.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so just wanted to let you know about that, and hopefully by December 8th, the Supreme Court will give Trump the final say of whether he becomes president or not.
That's right.
All right, take care.
Thank you for the call, man.
You too. Bye bye.
All right, and shout out to the caller. Great call. And Georgia, it depends when you look. Georgia is still not called because they're still finding votes, thousands of votes that hadn't been counted yet in Georgia. Oh, it's only a few thousand votes. Well, the margin is like only a few thousand in between Biden and Trump officially, and that's probably going to shrink even closer together to the point where Biden could be overtaken by Trump because of all the fraud and all the uncounted votes that they keep finding. Okay, they found like 2,000, like 2 or 3,000 votes in a very small part of Georgia, like in Rome, like in that particular county, and by Rome, Georgia. This is like way up north, not Atlanta. This is kind of like, you know what I mean, small town. Look at some more calls here. 316 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is David Ham.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Just you were touching on social media earlier, and I saw that at Jack was testifying the other day, in front of Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham. And the time before he was testifying, he was talking about in free speech, he was bringing up you can't scream fire in a theater. You remember that? Or did you see it?
I didn't see that, no.
Well, the original wording of that law, it said that you can't say anything that's false, right? And I thought it was kind of ironic that at Jack on Twitter was defending a law that was actually reworded by Brandenburg versus Ohio. And, the Holmes decision was the original one, which it said that, you can't say anything that's false. And Brandenburg versus Ohio was actually a case brought against, Brandenburg he was the leader of the Ku Klux Klan in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one that overturned it. And, it was kind of ironic to me that the left always seems to defend these positions that are brought up by the left and brought up by the Ku Klux Klan. You know, like Jim Crow and all these other laws that they continually defend.
Well, of course, that's their roots. They're going back to their roots. That's pretty much what they know. I mean, they want to act like that's not them and that's not what they are based on, but it is, and we see it all the time. And the same thing with Nazi Germany and that whole thing. They want to pass that off as like a far right thing, and Adolf Hitler is some kind of far right wing extremist. But the more you see the left get into their extreme policies, the more you see of Nazi Germany, of the Klan, and all this. It's the same stuff. It's just rebranded to a new day.
Yeah, exactly. But if it hadn't have been for that one case, then the media wouldn't be able to print anything that was false. Yeah. That one singular case, you know, printing something that was false, or, you know, I mean, they can cause riots, they can cause all kinds of things today, and they can just say whatever they want to, right?
Yeah.
But that one particular case opened the door for them to just be able to say whatever they want and do whatever they want. And in this last, and I appreciate you letting me talk now. I appreciate that. But in this last little go round with Mark Zuckerberg and Act Jack were up there, they were both talking about how they don't want to censor anybody, right? But they're all censoring everybody. And, you know, everybody talks about Section 230 and how it's horrible. But the truth is there's nothing wrong with Section 230. It's the enforcement of it.
Exactly.
All we have to do is enforce it.
Correct.
And everything will be just fine, you know? So, you know, they get to do whatever they want and act like the media, but they're not the media. You know, the truth is that their platforms are not the media. And we can, well, you know, I mean, I guess that's argumentative, you know, but anyway, I appreciate you letting me have my little say about that. I just thought it was kind of ironic that every single time they either go before Congress or the Senate, they always bring up a law that was overturned or, you know, messed around with either by the Ku Klux Klan or the Jim Crow or Joe Biden or somebody else. And Biden's just as bad as the rest of them.
That's right.
So I appreciate you, man. I love you, and I'll support you as much as I can.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep, bye.
All right, great call. And we got a few more calls coming in, of course. We got about another hour left. This show is usually 3 hours. I talk for about the first hour, and then I do 2 hours of calls. And the number's always in the description box if you can't see it. There's also an email. If you want to call in through Skype, you can be right here on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen if you have video showing, if my video capture works. But let's continue with the calls. Again, the number to call, 434-658-1220. The number's always in the description box below. If you're listening on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Spotify, Google Play, Anchor, Stitcher, Castbox, wherever you are, give me a 5-star rating, a review, a share, an email, whatever you can. I'd most certainly appreciate you. Let's get to the next one here. All right, let's see. 26902, you don't know who I'm speaking to.
Hi. Hey, this is Zach.
All righty, what's going on?
So nothing. I just wanted to talk to you about the election and stuff because I'm not a guy who voted for Trump or Biden. I did not. But I wanted to say that Trump lost, and I think it's not even close. And I've actually seen a guy named Greg Palast, who's independent journalist, who actually said Trump actually stole the election, not Biden. And that there's evidence that he was suppressing people in like swing states like Wisconsin and Michigan, and he was purging people off the rolls, and all this stuff about, oh, Joe Biden stole elections. It's preposterous. Yes, the Dems steal elections. They steal the primaries against people like Bernie Sanders and left-wing people. So I just want to get your take on this because you think that the election was stolen and Trump actually won it, or it's not over yet. But no, Biden won. He won it handily by 5 million, and that means 5 million more people wanting to be president. I mean, that's how I see it. If you get 5 million more votes and you get the most votes, you should be president. Plain and simple.
So I'm kind of confused. Like, what's your question to me?
Like, well, do you think Trump won the election? Like, do you think Biden actually stole it? Like, why do you think he stole it?
Well, all I said was from the beginning, there's all kind of improprieties. Now, I don't know who did what or what happened, but there's improprieties, things that don't make any sense. And all I want is for things to be explained. And there's improprieties that we see. There's people coming out talking about, oh, we got votes here that are not being tabulated. There's all kind of glitches and errors. You got court action happening. Let's let all the court action play out. Let's let these errors and glitches be examined and see what's really going on. You had one so-called glitch that overturned an election in Michigan where a guy that lost actually won, who was a Republican. He lost it, then he won it when they fixed the glitch. So that same system is used in 30 states. Let's kind of investigate to see if there's any other so-called glitches that happened that could have shifted votes from one person to another. Let's see that. And then also, I want an explanation on how Biden was able to get 10 million more votes than Hillary Clinton. Okay, he was able to get close to 4 million more votes than 2008 Barack Obama. It doesn't make any sense to me. So you get 75 million votes, the most votes ever out of any president. When you didn't even campaign, you pretty much stayed in Wilmington, Delaware. Maybe you went down the road to Chester, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and that's it. It doesn't really add up to me. There's mathematical possibilities. You had like a 92% voter turnout in a particular area in Wisconsin or in the entire state. You have mandatory voting in Australia to the point where if you don't vote, you get fined. There's actual penalties associated with it. And they have the equivalent turnout rate. How is it possible to have mandatory voting with an equivalent turnout rate of voluntary voting? And a similar city, demographic-wise and location-wise, to that particular place in Wisconsin, I think it's Cleveland, Ohio, and they had a 50% turnout rate, which is pretty high. So I'm just trying to figure out things that don't make any sense. If it can be explained to me in a way that makes sense, then I'll be like, okay, that's cool. The math is what I'm focused on, not Joe Biden stealing or anything like that. Let's just make the math make sense.
Okay, what I would say that is I can see what you're saying and I can kind of sympathize with that. But the reason I think, I don't know for sure, I don't know, they got more votes is because as people who didn't vote for Biden and actually didn't vote at all because they don't like either of the two main candidates, said Biden, the Dems could have ran anyone against Donald Trump, but he would have won because Trump mishandled the COVID-19. He mishandled it.
Okay. Now, see, the thing is, that's something we're talking about. Just who's better. That's a matter of opinion. I don't even really care about that. That's not even really important when you're talking about the math. The math is what I'm focused on. The people, the candidates are irrelevant.
I get you. What I'm trying to say is like, I get it. The math is wrong, but I think it's because they so dislike Trump. Like if it wasn't a pandemic, Biden would not be president right now. If there was no pandemic, Biden would not have won this. He would have lost. He would have lost handily. He would have probably won the popular vote, like most Democrats do in the presidential election. But he would have lost. He would have lost the electoral college, and it's because people hated Trump. This is handling the pandemic. I think some people were like, I may not agree with Joe Biden. I may think he's a terrible person. I may think he's bad, but Donald Trump has mishandled this. And this is just I can't not vote for Joe Biden.
All right, so here's the thing about that. So we also gained a bunch of seats in the House, like 10 to 12 seats in the House. But Trump loses. How does that really happen? Like if you think that Trump is so bad,
yeah, that's a good point.
If you think that Trump is so bad, why would you vote more for Republicans? And why also, let's not forget this. Trump had like 9 million more votes. So he kept the base and gained 9 million people, according to the numbers. So if Trump did so bad with the virus, why did you maintain your base and gain 9 million? He had as many votes as Barack. He had as many votes as Obama in 2008, which was a tremendous election because of what Obama represented, the first quote unquote black president. So You know, it makes sense for Trump to have that kind of groundswell support. You're able to see out there in the ground, all these pop-up rallies, independent rallies, not even organized by the administration, just organic rallies. You didn't have anything like that for Biden. No kind of enthusiasm, no campaigning. I don't think that the virus alone would generate 75 million votes. And I don't think that it would just make math not make sense.
Okay, well, here's the thing that people would say is if the numbers are up, then why weren't the Democrats smart enough to play Florida? If they're stealing all these states, why not then steal Florida? It's like, why stop at one state but do all the other states? It's like stupid logic. Like to say, well, I'm going to steal Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Arizona and Michigan, but not take Florida. It's like, well, maybe I don't look too suspicious.
Well, you don't need Florida. You don't need Florida if you get what you got. I mean, it was no need to take Florida. Why? Well, you don't have to take every state. Like, I mean, if they were to take, if they took every state, if they took North Carolina, Florida, Texas, it'd be like, okay, come on, this is stupid. That made no sense. So all they had to do was get enough votes where they needed it, and they even said it before the whole thing happened. They was like, look, you can have Pennsylvania and Florida, and you can have wherever else, and we'll win without it. You can have Ohio too. They did not take Ohio, but they still won.
Yeah,
they knew they had a game plan. They had a game plan before the whole thing happened, and then it played out. But hey, this has been a great call. But I got a few more calls on the line. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate
man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah. All I'm saying is just make the math make sense. I don't care about who's better. That's just a matter of opinion. You could think Trump is the worst president in the world. Okay, that's fine. You could think you could think Biden is the worst president. That's fine too. You could think they're both bad. Don't even really care. Make the math make sense. Mathematical impossibilities, let's just have those be explained. But I'll get to a few more calls. 912, you don't allow who I'm speaking to.
What's up, Anthony? It's Tom.
All right, man.
Here in Georgia. So once again, his numbers are an interesting thing, and there's a lot of anomalies. Like, we talk about Corona, we're talking about election. They're mixing the two, and in 2017 there was 870 something thousand abortions. Where are people like concerned about life and death at a simple thing like that?
Yeah, good point.
I mean, life matters. Black lives matter. All lives matter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, the once again, fraud, impropriety. There's lots of terms in the legal system and the way that this is all going to be like played out in a certain sense. And you're very educated in a lot of the rules and legal stuff and processes, but you don't know everything. No one does.
Yeah.
I mean, the last caller was an interesting caller. I mean, everything's interesting. Like, how's it going to pan out? I don't know. I think there was a red wave, not a mirage.
I mean, the whole thing.
A lot more people.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, you're good.
Nah, I just want the things that don't make any sense to be explained, and to be explained in a reasonable way. Don't just say, "Oh, it's just what it is. You got to accept it." And I feel like we were being primed to think this way before it even happened, because they kept asking Trump during the debates, will you accept the results? Are you going to try to challenge it? Will it be a peaceful transition? They were trying to get us primed for it back then, and then here we are. Oh, Trump's not allowing for a peaceful transition. He doesn't want to accept it. But see, they were already asking him that before it even happened. So my question is, did they have any kind of advanced knowledge about how this whole thing was going to play out?
I'm laughing because did you see, I guess Joe Biden talked off a prompter yesterday, and they asked him about some question about, intelligence and something, and he turns over and he's like, oh, yeah, well, I ain't got to worry about if Donald Trump's going to – well, he didn't say Trump yet. I'm not going to worry about if they let me get the information because my friend over here is on the House Intelligence Board. Oh, man.
So basically he was just admitting that he's getting information that he shouldn't be ahead of the time.
That's what he said or she said. But no, it was a video that came out yesterday. Once again, it's hard. Like you watch stuff, you listen to stuff. What's real, what's not. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, those were words that came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
We can overread or we can underread. We can cut the clip up. We can perceive it to be something that it is or isn't, which is a great game the media plays. From the coming together. Hey, can I ask you one quick question? I'm in the process of building a website, and it's for people that aren't allowed to raise funds on a certain website, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because they might be a white supreme or something, like Kyle. But what are your thoughts on that? Just to have an alternative source, kind of like alternative sources that are appropriate and not appropriate of broadcasting like you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
You mean alternative for fundraising?
Correct, yeah.
They exist. I'm not exactly sure the names, but I know there's one that's like a Christian based crowdsource platform. I don't know about all the names, but there's more that exist than just the main one you're talking about.
Right. I understand there's like other alternative choices, but kind of a straight kicked off platform. Like, why aren't they allowed to be on there? Like, what did they really do? Like the one guy that was one of the first, like, kind of, I guess not whistleblower, but one of the first male people that did the thing, and then the FBI interrogated him for 4 hours. He was on the Project Veritas videos and stuff. And then, you know what, he got kicked off. Like, why? I don't even know if he was like Republican.
Well,
or
I mean, it's
Democrat
clear why. I mean, you know why? Because
right, it's against an agenda.
You know, it's clear. It's clear. You know, these companies, they don't want to associate with anybody that's like that, anybody that goes against the narrative. It's clear. So, like, you GoFundMe. See, the thing about GoFundMe that's different than a Twitter or something like that is that they don't dominate communication, and that communication is very important. It's just a platform to raise money. I mean, you could
but
do
there's
that.
still so much money that changes through hands. Like, I remember there was like a certain person that started blacklivesmatter.org or something, and then he got outcast when Black Lives Matter got super big over the last year or something. And then he got outcast, and he had a good program that was like trying to like make cops and like black people get along, and it was a good program, and they hated him, and he was black, and it blows my mind.
Well, I mean, we know what the agenda is with a lot of these people, so it's not surprising to see when they get kicked out if they don't, toe the line. That's pretty much how it goes. So, with those people, they gotta just, break away from that type of element and do something that's positive for themselves. Like the guy that was in the BLM who had a good program, just do something else. But hey, man, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, I appreciate it, Anthony.
All righty, let's get to some more calls here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. There's also an email in the description box. The call number is also in the description box in case you didn't hear me or you just need a little quick refresher. Let's get to a few more. Let's go. 484, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to? 484.
Hey, it's Miles Davis. Hey, listen, ABL, I'm finally glad. I'm so happy I'm able to get through finally. But how's your night going so far?
Everything's going well, man. I can't complain too much. How about yourself?
Nothing much. Hey, I saw Obama's video that one of the other conservative channels did about him insulting black people, saying that Trump is bribing us with gold chains and jewelry, materialistic stuff. And I was like, okay, well, how offensive to black people that is coming from a black president.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. And my thing is, it's hypocritical too, because Barack Obama was a hip hop president. You had rappers in the Oval Office, you had BET there doing the special, a whole concert, and then the craziest thing was when he had the rapper Rick Ross in the Oval Office for a quote unquote meeting or whatever, and his ankle monitor went off in the Oval Office. It's like, all right, Obama, these are your guests you had in the White House, but you want to talk about Trump and hip hop because they got, they're materialistic, superficial. Well, is that how you feel about your guests that they were in the White House? You should have said that back then rather than having them there just, skinning and grinning, having a good old time. But hey, that's how they do over there on the left.
Yeah, Obama's true colors are starting to show and how hypocritical he really is. And to be honest, it's like the more he opens his mouth, the more I'm getting tired of. I'm just so sick of him. I'm just really not liking him because it's like he said, everybody that watches Fox News live on another planet. I was like, wow, you sound so discriminatory. That's the word. And just completely just. And then what else did he say that was insulting? Oh yeah. Oh, then you got Ilhan Omar. Come to find out, she came from Syria and made it over here successfully. And then here you are spreading more hate. Like, wow, very hypocritical.
Somalia.
Oh, Somalia. Sorry, my bad. I thought it was Syria. Thanks for correcting me.
Oh, it's all good.
But yeah. She. Go ahead.
That's what they do though. These people, a lot of these America haters, they don't even care about because when she was in Somalia, she fled because of the conflict obviously going on. Mogadishu, Black Hawk Down, all that good stuff. So then she went to Kenya and a refugee camp, stayed there for like 4 years, and then was brought to America by, I think, a Christian organization. White family brought her out. They changed her name and all of that, brought her to Minnesota. So she should be thankful to us for rescuing her. But rather than doing that, she wants to go out here and spew hate. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. And I watched a video on Jericho Green. He's like, we opened our arms to you, and then here you are. You just want to bite the hand that fed you. Like, most of her community, from what I heard, most of the people in her district got her help get her elected.
Yeah, I mean, because, she's basically in, when you in that, she's Somali in Minnesota, that's a big community of them up there. Somali and Kenyans in Minnesota. It's like a whole enclave up there in Minnesota of them.
Got it. Yeah. And it's just now that like everybody keeps calling, like, I started to notice that Joe Biden, his votes have suddenly dropped. They went from 273 to 279. Now they're all the way back down again. It's like, wow. And most of these states are starting to recount their ballots. They got to count all those ballots over again from what I heard, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and also one more thing. I saw people who own Twitter and Facebook, they were being questioned, and it's just the guy that owned Twitter, I forgot his name. He was just...
You're talking about Jack Dorsey.
Yeah. He just kept coming with excuse after excuse. I could tell by the look on his face, he was just full of it. He just was not telling the truth. And they just had all the evidence right there of all the people's stories they tried to censor. They actually tried to keep people from logging into their Facebook pages. They said, or their Twitter accounts if they don't delete these posts. I was like, now he's got an answer for that.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what it is, man. Thank you for the call, though. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, gotcha. I'll see you.
All right, now. All right, how's my sound? Because my microphone's having issues with the popping when it kind of like peaks and then kind of like breaks. It's kind of like crackly a little bit. Hopefully, I've been able to resolve that. I kind of fixed it a little bit on one of my most recent videos, but hopefully it's not doing it right here on the live stream. Let me just make sure I don't have any kind of gain. I think I had my gain up too high, and that was causing the problem. Hopefully everything's straight, though. If my sound is weird, you guys let me know. So I definitely got to fix that because sounding is extremely important. But let me get to the next call here. Let's go 626. You're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, my gosh. I got through.
You got through.
Wow,
Yes, indeed.
Hi, ABL. How exciting.
What's going on?
Hi. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just calm down. So my name is Nellie. I'm from California. I did not think I would get through, but I kept trying. Hey, so I just wanted to share a little story. I turned 18 in 2000, back during the George W. Bush and Al Gore election. And that was the first time I ever voted, and then what happened then? You know, we all know what happened then. It's all on the news. So I said, you know what, screw this. I'm never voting again. The whole thing is a dog and pony show. Like I lost, you know, just faith in the whole process. So, you know, then when Trump won in 2016, and I was so thankful Hillary Clinton wasn't president, I was like, oh, they got me again. They got me believing, like, hey, you know, this whole thing is, you know, I kind of got involved in politics, and I voted this year. You know, even you know, so in California there are pockets of Republicans here. There's some Republicans. There's a lot of conservative people here that are kind of on the down low, because you know, their families and friends, like, oh, they'll eat us alive. You know, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to. Anyway. So my dad, who's been a lifelong Democrat, told me this year, hey, you know, vote for Trump. So I did it. You know, I voted for Trump, and look what happened. Same thing that happened 20 years ago is happening again. But it's okay. It's okay because you know, whatever happens, no matter who is president, you know, MAGA, it should be a movement, and I think you know. We got to do our best to, you know, make the best out of our little corner of the world, right? We got to just do the best that we can, keep the people around us accountable, raise our good families, provide, protect our own, and just be, you know, just be prosperous and spread goodness, right? Have the best Thanksgiving that you have, no matter what the government says. Have the kind of Thanksgiving and Christmas that you want to have, no matter what these people in power tell us to do, right? Like Governor Newsom over here got caught having a party, right?
Sure did.
And he's telling us what to do. No, we live our lives and not afraid of anything, not afraid of a virus, not afraid of our leaders, not afraid of what people are telling us. So I hope everybody out there has a wonderful Thanksgiving and a wonderful Christmas. And you too, ABL, congratulations on your recent marriage.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks for letting me. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's all good. Thank you for your call. Definitely a good call. Definitely appreciate you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Take care.
All right, now.
Bye.
All right, great call. And yeah, the whole thing about Gavin Newsom having a party, going to the party, telling you, oh, don't go, and you know, you can't be doing this. And you know, that was super insulting, saying, oh, well, I shouldn't have done it, and I apologize. It was a mistake. A mistake. You know, if I sit down and eat an entire pizza straight to my head, like just nom nom, right? Just a whole, you know, 16 slices to my head, and then when I'm done, I'm like, oh, that was a mistake. It's like, okay, at what point did I realize it was a mistake? On the first slice or on the 16th slice? You know, I ate the entire pizza. You went to the party, you saw how many people were there, you sat down, had a good time, drinking, you know, laughing, carrying on, having a party. You doing that, and then when you get outed, oh, it was a mistake, I shouldn't have done it. So dumb. But anyway, I digress. Let's get to some more calls. All right, Sandy, what's going on?
Hey, I'm through. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
You said what now?
Hey, I'm very excited to be on your channel. I really like your channel.
All right, thank you for that, man. Appreciate you. What's going on?
Yeah, I just, whoever the people who are blaming, Trump for coronavirus outbreak, I want to ask them, like, there's coronavirus outbreak in India as well, in Europe as well. I'm calling from India, by the way.
Okay.
So there's coronavirus outbreak in India as well. So do they blame Trump for that as well? Like, there's coronavirus outbreak is everywhere in this world. And why they're blaming Trump for that? The only person who was supposed to be blamed for that is China.
Exactly.
I just don't get it. And the only person who was speaking against China was the Trump. No one else. I don't get it. These people are, the only people who are standing for them is Trump. And they're still speaking against him.
Right. I mean, it makes sense because that's where the virus came from. It came from China. I mean, No, you can't. It can't blame Trump. I mean, and Trump was the guy who said, "Let's stop that travel from China. Let's just ban the Chinese travel." And then when he did that, the very same ones who say he did not do enough from the beginning are calling him a racist and stuff like that for doing that back then. But it was clearly the right thing to do. The World Health Organization, they say, don't go out to travel because that may try to stoke racism and xenophobia and things like that. But he did it. It was the right move. Now they want to blame him. They're using everything they can against him to get him out of the way because he's not controllable. They want to have a puppet in there that they can control and do whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. How can you vote for a person who can't even speak, like who can't even make? Whenever I hear Biden speaking, it doesn't make any sense. Like he's not in a correct state of mind to be a president of America. How do people even voting? Like I don't understand.
I'm the same way. I don't understand either. That's why it does not make any sense for him to have so many votes, 75 million votes.
Kamala is not Indian. She can't even pronounce her name correctly. It's not Komala. It's Kamala. Kamala. I'm from India. I have many friends whose name is Kamala. Kamala is the correct pronunciation. She can't even pronounce her name. Komala. It's not Komala. It's just frustrating, man. She pretends to be Indian. Oh my God. Tulsi Gabbard is much more Indian than her.
Right.
I mean, Tulsi Gabbard is like she wishes Diwali, Janmashtami, all the Indian festivals. I never heard. And when the elections come, she suddenly becomes Indian. She suddenly becomes black. I don't know what she is.
She's pretty much whatever she needs to be whenever it fits. It's like a chameleon.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's just, and I just wonder, the American people, can't they see this all things? I mean, it's just frustrating.
Right. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Glad to be on your channel, man. I really love your show. Keep doing what you're doing. Spread the truth. And yeah, man.
Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
All right. Great call all the way from India. Shout out to all the international callers. People call the show, they call from all over the world. So I'm glad you guys are watching. I'm glad you guys are listening. And hopefully, what I'm saying here helps you wherever you are. But yeah, like he was saying, you had a virus outbreak in India. You got virus out. You had one in Brazil. I mean, how can Trump be blamed for the virus when it's happening everywhere? I was saying this before. The virus has affected the whole world. It ain't just America. You can't say, "Oh, Trump didn't handle the virus." How can you handle a virus? Really, it's a virus. I mean, if somebody gets the sniffles, are you going to say it's Trump's fault because he didn't handle the sniffles? I mean, come on. It happens. What are you going to do when spring hits and there's pollen everywhere? What you going to do? Say that Trump did not slow the spread of pollen on people's cars? If you got an orange car or a yellow car, on March the 28th, is it Trump's fault? But I digress. Okay, let's go to some more here. And let's do 824. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to? 824.
Oh, this is Janie from North Carolina. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. About yourself?
I'm doing fine. Gosh, it took me a long time to get on. I haven't been on in a long time either.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I was listening to Dave on the X22 report, and he had on a guest that was actually in Michigan, and he is an electronic technician, the ex-governor of Michigan, a poll editor, and an organizer. So he was there in Michigan, and while he was training the next team to come in, they shut him out. And he had already started questioning about their intranet connections and wanted to know if them terminals was hooked up to the internet. And he told them all you have to do is take your mouse and scroll over to the right-hand side, and it'll tell you whether it's on the internet or not. And they would not let him check any of the computers.
Wow.
Yeah, and like he had set, he was there from day one setting all this stuff up. and said that he kept questioning, and said one of the Democrat guy that was there and was an organizer as well, and he started questioning him. He said, I can't tell you anything. He said, you just have to wait till, it's over. And he said that he was out into a room, training the next group that was to come in. And they shut him out, would not let him back in. But he saw votes coming in the back door, and they were supposed to be in a chain of command or, some kind of chain where they were closed, and they weren't. And he said there were so many inconsistencies that he actually filed a complaint. So he said that he would be one that would be testifying on behalf of the Michigan thing with Donald Trump. And said he even tried to buy a billboard now to put a message out on the billboard, and nobody would sell him a billboard. Now, he lives in Michigan. So he said there really are a lot of improprieties, a lot of shady stuff that was going on. He knew it. He knew it when it was happening. And then I saw an interview that Kim Kulik from Baltimore.
Yeah, Kim Klacik.
Yeah, and she says she believes there was some shady stuff going on in Baltimore as well. But she said she'd have to see how it all played out. But I just wanted to say that everybody keep hope, because I do believe that Donald Trump is going to win this. And I saw an interview that somebody done about Executive Order number 13848 that people like to look up. He done it back in September of 2017, before the midterm elections, that anybody that's caught with interference of this election, all properties within the United States would be taken. They would be confiscated. Any person that helped to defraud a federal election, their property will be seized as well. So I hope he takes all of them's property, because they were all in on it. And they said that he knew this was going to happen. I'm sure it happened in 2016. Hillary done every bit of cheating she could do and still lost. That's why she didn't contest it. There was nothing to contest, because if she had, they would have found out how much cheating was going on then.
Correct.
So, I just hope that people keep believing. My family won't even talk to me now. I'm from a big Democrat family. They don't even talk to me.
Oh.
Hadn't talked to my sister since before the election.
Wow.
But that's okay too. But just want to say, everybody, keep your head up, because Trump will be the next president of the United States. That's all I had to say. And I love your show. Love what you do.
All right. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Great call. Excellent call. And thank y'all again for being here. If you like what you're hearing so far on the show, please give the video a thumbs up. Share the video, like the video, do all that good stuff for me. That'll help me out tremendously. And we got a whole lot going on. I'm trying to get to a few more calls. Let's go. Now before you're on the line, I'm speaker to.
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
How's it going, ABL? My name's AJ, and I'm from New York.
All righty, man. What's going on?
I was actually just wondering, do you have any YouTube videos that show you any tips or tricks on starting a YouTube channel?
There's one guy you can look at. His name is Roberto Blake. Black guy with dreads. He's really good at that kind of stuff as far as starting a channel. But as far as anything I could tell you just from knowing what I know, he's better at telling you all the details and more lengthy stuff. But what I always tell everybody when they ask me this question is be consistent. If you're going to put out stuff, you have to be consistent. So if you start a channel, you can't start and stop. You can't, do a video and then do one the next day and then don't do one again until 2 weeks later, and then be consistent. You might not see a lot of growth at first, but be consistent. Keep putting out stuff. If you're good, people like what you got to say. They like a personality or delivery or whatever it is. They might start to follow you. You also got to talk about things people want to search for. Okay, whether it's a trending news topic or a thing that is very popular. Like, prime example, I talk about news, right? So I talk about things that are going on right now. The same things the mainstream media would cover, I cover, because I'm gonna give you my take on it. That's not gonna be filled with, the sponsor message or the lobbyist message or the mainstream media leftist message. I'm gonna give you to you from my point of view. I also talk about things that people they wanna see insight on in general. Like if I were a car channel, I would say, okay, how to change oil. It's basic, but people don't really know that. How to change a flat tire. That's not a trending topic, but it's always going to be a thing that people want to search for because it's a thing that's really popular. People got to do it. You got to change oil. You got to change tire, windshield wiper blades, that type of stuff, real basic stuff. So that's my advice. Be consistent and talk about things that people want to hear.
Okay, cool. And when you're like putting the tags in the video and stuff, let's say if I were to put a tag saying like Democrat and then another tag saying party, would that, like if someone were to search up Democrat Party, would that count, or would I have to make Democrat Party like one tag?
Tags don't work anymore. Tags are old school. Tags don't even help. I don't do tags anymore at all. I don't do tags in any of my video. Now what I do is I write a description. That's going to help you. So an example is, and you can't try to trick the system. I got back up a little bit. I come from the SEO world, the search engine optimization, so I know about tags and certain things. That doesn't work anymore. What you got to do is talk about things in your video and have your description reflect what you say in the video, because YouTube can see what you say in the video, meaning they can transcribe your words into captions, and from that caption, they can match that to what's in your description box. So if what you're saying in the video does not match, they're gonna ding you and they might call it spam because you're just trying to cheat the system. You got to talk about what you're saying in your description box, even if it's like a short description. That can help you. And also having a good title and having that match what's in your video. And in your title, it can't be too long. I say max about 60 characters, because people on your phone, they got to be able to see it when they're scrolling without having it trail off with ellipses.
Okay, yeah, I got you. And I just wanted to leave the stream off with, I see all these callers and they're talking about the election and all that with Trump winning and all that. But at the end of the day, God is the King of Kings. Jesus the Messiah. And Yeshua HaMashiach is his name in, I believe, Hebrew. I just wanted to leave everyone off with, even if Biden wins, God is in control of everything. And if Trump wins, then that's a dub for another 4 more years. And I just hope that comforts people. God is he's the provider, he's the comforter. And he's in control no matter what.
All right, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you so much, ABL. Have a good day.
All right. Shout out to the caller. All right. Thank you to everybody that's watching. We got a few more calls I'll be able to get to. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let me get to this one here. 816 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Yes, who am I speaking to? 816.
Hi, this is Marie.
All righty. What's going on?
Well, I've been thinking about this virus and the representatives we have from California. And it just seems to me that with all the hearings and investigations they do on anything, they never investigated, to my knowledge, the Chinese driver that Dianne Feinstein had for all those years. And then the next thing we know, here comes this virus from China.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I always thought that I've never heard anyone speak about it. I've always wondered about it because she is 87 years old, walking around the floor today at the Senate, no mask, no worries, nothing. And we've got Maxine Waters from California. We've got Gavin Newsom. We've got Nancy Pelosi. All these people from California, and now Kamala as a potential threat to our country. And the Dianne Feinstein thing has always bothered me.
Yeah, I mean that's something that has to really be looked into, in my humble opinion. And I feel like you said, she's 87 years old. How does she not have the virus, or how has she not really been exposed to it? Like, what does she know that we don't know? And how about Pelosi and all the rest of them? What's really going on?
Yeah.
I feel like they have some advanced knowledge of what's going on that we need, that they're not giving us.
Yes. It was almost like it was a preference to, well, we can't get him on the impeachment. We can't get him on his taxes. We can't get him on anything. But let's go ahead with that Chinese spy idea, and really there's no way to tell. There's never been any hearings or investigation. She got off scot-free.
Yeah.
And the whole world is paying for it.
Yeah, that's true.
I listen to you and Brandon all the time. I'm glad I got through. And one of the things that just swirls around in my brain. All the bad things that come from California and China. And we're paying for it.
Right.
Big time. But it's a pleasure talking to you.
Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Well, thank you. Have a nice Thanksgiving.
All right, now, same to you.
Bye-bye.
All righty. I got time for a few more. Let's get to them. And again, you guys are the best audience anywhere in the world. I just want to let you know that. So let's go. Let me see. All right, hold on one second. All right, Tariq, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, baby?
Everything's good, man.
Hey, man, I just want to talk about Obama, man. It's so frustrating that the majority of the black community can't see this. Bro, Obama is nowhere in the black community. He's not at any events. He's not in the culture. He's nowhere to be found in the neighborhoods doing anything specific for black people. The only time you hear about Obama is when an election comes around. I mean, seriously, it's when an election comes around. That's when he wants to talk Mr. Black Man. Now he wants to talk about racism. And it's always just to get black folks to vote for Democrats. And then after that, the man disappears. And I don't know why so many black folks idolize him. Like, I swear, if Malcolm X was alive, I think Malcolm X would tear into his behind. Because, I mean, the guy is not... He's just him and his wife, like, they're nowhere in our community spaces. And what angers me is that he was asked a question, why do you think black people, black rappers supported Donald Trump? And his answer is just off touch and off base. But just to paraphrase, because of bling bling culture and all they care about is money. And my thing's like, how do you know that? Like, did you ever talk to Little Wayne, or did you ever talk to Kanye West or something like that? How do you come up with the most? To be honest, man, he pretty much stereotyped black men pretty much as that's all they care about. And it's just like Obama views black people the same way a white liberal would view black people, and to me, that's traitorous in my opinion. Like, he has no right to be talking about our community, but, once again, he gets a pass because black people allow it. Black people allow this man to do that. And it's just what angers me about the media the most, man, is you notice they never interview people. Like, take, for example, the whole Candace Owens fallout, right, with that Vogue magazine cover?
Yeah.
Bro, this is what's wrong with our media. If you have such a problem with her, why are you writing articles describing what you think she believes? Why not just do like they did in the old-fashioned days, invite her on your show or interview her and pick her brain as to why she thinks like that. That's the problem with our media, bro. It's just like they will sit there and never talk to you, never talk to you, never reach out, but write articles slandering you, telling you this is what you mean to say, you know what I'm saying? You're a racist, sexist, patriarchy, whatever all that nonsense is, instead of bringing Candace Owens in and talking to her, bro. And, you know, it just angers me that black media especially participates in that type of nonsense. You know, it was when Ice Cube came out trying to come out with this agenda for black people. And, you know, a lot of black media outlets, you know, such as The Root, The Griot, these fake outlets, they just write articles about him, man. So yeah, man, I just hope, my main thing is I hope Trump supporters really, really wake up against how corrupt the media is, you know, and really support independent media like yours. If Trump's media comes out, support his. Because, man, if we don't defeat the media, who is the main enemy, I don't see anything else changing in this country, bro. And that's pretty much all I got to say, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care, boss.
Great call. Excellent call. Consider no better myself. All right. And the phone lines are jumping. I'm going to try to get to a few more. So y'all just hang tight. Let's go. 703, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Miss Girl POV on YouTube.
All righty. What's going on?
Hi. I wanted to say thank you so much for everything that you do. May God bless you. Congrats on your new home. I love your show. You inspired me to start my own YouTube channel. And thank you so much. I appreciate everything that you do.
Oh, no problem. I couldn't do it without y'all.
Thank you so much. Check out my page if you get a chance.
All right. So tell me that one more time. I didn't hear you the first time.
Okay. It's Mixed Girls POV.
Okay. Yeah, I see you in the chat sometimes. Okay. Mixed Girl POV. I got you.
Yes, that's me.
All righty.
But thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything you do.
All right. No problem. Thank you for the call.
Thanks.
All right. So check her out on the YouTubes. Her channel is Mixed Girl POV. Okay. So I'll put a link right here to her channel in the chat box. There we go. All right. Let's get to a few more. Let's go. 708, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is John Dorgan and Barbara Dorgan.
All right, John and Barbara. What's going on?
We're out of Illinois. You know, what I wanted to talk about is, you know, the prophets of today. You know, there's always been prophets. Jesus was a prophet, and before him was John the Baptist. And, you know, there's false prophets and prophets. And for the believers, you know, when you screen out the prophets and they all say the same, I think we're okay. So tell your people not to worry. God's got this. He just wants us to pray. And hang on one second. I have to turn this back music here. Hang on. Sorry. There.
All right.
Can you hear me better now?
I hear you.
Yeah. Anyway, what the instructions are pretty much so is if you're challenged, don't back down. You're in God's army. Don't be cowardly. But do not start anything, and he wants us to pray. And with that, they all agree that he's got this, and don't worry. Trump is our president. He will remain our president, and justice will take charge. This is the year of discovery, and next year is the year of justice. And that's just the way it's going to be. And if you want to have your listeners check it out, I won't steer them to different prophets, but they can vet their own. But Barb and I have been vetting them for, back in, well, actually, really, I go back to high school, and I was in government class when they were having the announcement over the PA that the president was shot. So ever since then, I wanted to know why we couldn't learn who did this. And so we've been checking in this conspiracy stuff our whole life, and I don't believe we flew our own planes into the towers, but there is a lot of conspiracy that's, when you back it with fact, it's no longer conspiracy. But that's how we stand, and we really appreciate the work you guys do, and we know, and I don't know if your listeners know, but you guys are challenged and threatened and everything else. You are true American heroes, and good God-fearing people. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
You take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to everybody for being here. And shout out to Mixed Girl POV for the donation. Big Baller, who says, thank you once again, ABL, for everything. Blessings. Thank you for your very kind words and donation. Most certainly appreciate you. Let's get to this call here. All righty, caller 3161. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL.
Yes.
Hey, man. This is Ralph from the Netherlands.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, man. It's all right, man. It's all right. Hey, very nice to speak to you, man. Really great show. I really love your show, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. It's amazing to speak to you, man. I have a short thing to say. You know the Glenn Beck? Glenn Beck, you know him?
Yes.
Okay. So he has a video. It's called Tech Experts Says Dominion Voting Systems Very Easy to Hack. I would really appreciate if you would take a look at it. And it's very informative about the Dominion voting system. And it was amazing what this guy told to Glenn Beck in that video. And really, it's very eye-opening about the system. And when you hear what they talk about in that video, about how easy to hack the system is, I follow the election really closely. So, and I really think that, well, the Republicans need to step up their game, really, overall. So, like Candace Owens has moved to the Daily Wire, and that's great. But when I hear, like, Ben Shapiro say, well, let's wait for the evidence, I'm like, well, maybe he has a publishing company, and he needs to investigate also himself. The problem is that a lot of waiting for the evidence is hard because the Trump lawyers are being harassed and being doxxed and everything. So they need to go out and need to find more evidence of, do some more journalism, like go investigate themselves, because it's very hard for the Trump campaign. I've seen to get good lawyers. Several companies have already said they're not going to help the Republican Party in this fight. So I really need to get. I really want to say this to you. So that's. I think the legal team could be very much better. Do you also think they need more help with lawyers and stuff like that, or do you think it's okay?
Well, I think there's always room for improvement to have better lawyers for sure. So I do agree that we need to have probably better lawyers or more lawyers.
Yeah, because it's very intimidating because all the lawyers are being doxxed and everything. Like the guys that certified the votes in, what was it, in Wayne County or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have seen the videos of the intimidation?
Yeah, I did hear about that, yes.
Yeah, it's awful. It's awful to see. So, and that also happens to very good lawyers and for the Trump campaign. And I heard Ben Shapiro talk about that he isn't sure if he has the best legal team. And now you have Rudy Giuliani. He's a great lawyer and was a great mayor, but he hasn't been in the courtroom like in the 90s. I heard Shapiro say, and now he's been in the courtroom for the first time as a lawyer. So that's troubling, man. When I heard something like that, well, Giuliani he has some presence, and of course, but I don't know if he's on top of his game right now.
Right.
I don't know, man. I know Ben has a huge platform, and I really like you and Shapiro and Tatum and all you guys really, and Candace, of course. And I really think that the stance is a little bit of defeated. I get the sense, but that's the way I wanted to say. Keep fighting, man. Keep fighting.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
All right, ABL. It's wonderful to talk to you, man. Bye-bye, man.
Thank you. All righty. Wow, the night went by fast. It's already almost 11 o'clock. I got to end the show right here. I'm sorry, y'all, if you couldn't get on. It's not my fault. You got to blame the white man for that. You guys have been the best audience anywhere on the internets. I got super chats to read right quick, and then I'm on out of here. Thank y'all again. if you like the video, if you enjoyed what you heard so far tonight, give me a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And also, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe right now. And when you do that, click the bell so you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. Alrighty, so I got super chats to read, and then I put on up, put the bow square on the top. So y'all just hang tight, don't go nowhere. Y'all saying bye. I ain't going nowhere yet. I probably got about 15 more minutes left to read super chats, and then we can go. Okay, then you'll be dismissed like how they do in church, right? When you be, I'm almost done. All right. Thank you to a patriotic woman who says, keep telling the truth, will do. If I read it again, it's okay. Thank you to James who says, ABL, what is a good free education if there's no jobs? Use the education. Exactly. Thank you to Michelle who says, hashtag stop the steal. Thank you to Republican Willie who says, follow Republican Willie, TikTok, stay blessed. ABL and fam, the red wave is coming. Thank you to BearBay01 who says, Richard Hopkins did not recant. That is a lie. He even said so himself. Go away, Ivan. Thank you to EP for the thumbs up emoji. Thank you to Peter Sipley and Anthony for becoming ABL supporters. Thank you to Donkey with the keep it up emoji with the working out. Thank you to Steve Saved who says, search on YouTube and enjoy fellow patriots. Quote, Acting Defense Secretary Christopher C. Miller holds a troop event, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, November 18th, 2020. Thank you to Lewis from Spain who says, CEO Keith's second interview with post office whistleblower. He was threatened to change his statement, but he didn't. Ivan is a liar. Thank you for that. I figured he was lying too. I just didn't really know a lot about that. Thank you to David who says, the North Oakland Republican Club stopped to steal the Zoom meeting tomorrow. Thank you to Sam Fisher who says, your ABL, your boy Tatum. I don't want to read that. Thank you to you for your super chat, but that's my brother right there, Brandon Tatum. That's like my blood brother, but we're not blood brothers. So I don't want to, I'm not going to read anything negative about my brother Tatum. He's one of the good guys out there in the fight. And that's just what it is. I'm going to leave that there. And thank you to Bearbait who says, hey, Sam, don't say anything about Tatum. He's unfiltered. Nothing wrong about that. Exactly. We're different styles. That's what makes us great because you can listen to me and hear one particular style. Listen to him and hear a different style. I mean, we are approaching similar topics. We want the same thing. We just are different people, and that's fine. That's what you need to have more in the world, from my point of view. Thank you to Lucy who says, I recently went to a Barnes & Noble bookstore, and I thought it funny that Obama's new book was displayed right beside the horror section. Thank you to Charles Hunter Jr. who says, ABL, do you know about Stop the Steal going on all 50 state capitals this Saturday? Everyone should go to the one in their states. If you are a gun owner, I suggest carrying depending on the law. And thank you to Mixed Girl POV who said, thank you once again, ABL, for everything. Blessings. Thank you for that. I most certainly appreciate you. All right. That's all I got for the super chats. And I will be back again live, of course, on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern time to 11 p.m. Eastern time. And of course, I put videos all throughout the week. I'm gonna try to do 2 a day. I was busy today. I'm moving the grooving, still moving in, still got boxes and stuff everywhere. So I'm trying to get everything unpacked and settled. So thank y'all again for supporting. I'll be back tomorrow with not live videos, but just pre-recorded stuff. And again, I'll be live again on Saturday. I'm here every Wednesday and Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. I do the first hour is just me talking, and then the last 2 hours I take calls. So if you couldn't get in today, don't blame me. You got to blame the white man. Try again next time. That'll be Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Shout out to the mods for doing a great job keeping all the trolls in check, keeping all the comments nice and clean and family friendly because we don't do no cursing on the channel because you got little babies watching and whatnot. So I want everything to be nice and clean. Let me see. We got Killer Sushi, Charleston and Jr., Bill from the Hills, Ken Bone, Rapper 10,000. Thank y'all for doing what you do. I couldn't do it without you. And that is all I got for tonight. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.